Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Let's go.
Let's go.
All right.
We are here.
So I think we're all good. Can you hear yourself good?
Yeah.
Is that better, or do you want it louder? This just adjusts your headphone volume.
I think it's fine.
Think it's fine?
I feel like I'm like in another like dimension,
Does
like
this,
world.
The hearing sounds weird, doesn't it?
Like it's
first?
funny. Like I'm like, whoa.
All right.
It's kind of cool though.
We got Sherri on the come up.
What up?
How the hell you been?
I've been really, really good. I've been very busy, thankfully, especially with COVID, quarantine, all that.
Yeah.
Super duper grateful. But as far as mentally, spiritually, emotionally, I feel like I'm the happiest I've been. So I'm in a very good state.
You're the happiest you've been. Is something changed?
Yes.
For the better, obviously?
Yeah.
What's changed? Is this what I think it might be?
Yeah, definitely.
Based off what earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to say it or no?
I don't mind.
If you don't want it, you don't have to.
No, it's okay. I guess what's changed is like a little like, situation. Somebody's came into my life, made it a little brighter, better.
Yeah.
They're going home with me for Christmas actually.
No way.
Yeah. So I'm like, what? He's meeting the moms. It's gonna be crazy. But it'll be cool.
That's big news.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you said he drove you, I was like, okay. I think that means something.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Definitely.
I'm happy for you.
So
That's
it's cool.
awesome.
It's cool.
Both you guys. He's fucking sick.
Huh?
So he's fucking sick.
No, he's so dope. He's
Yes.
so dope.
So we've only hung out a couple times, and honestly, it was always at like those parties.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, super cool dude. I want to have him on, and if he comes back, he's definitely welcome to sit down.
Definitely.
I haven't set up 3 mics before, so I might try that, or I might just have you guys just try to use the same one. We'll see how that works. It might sound terrible, but
It might be
we'll
cool.
go for it. Yeah.
It might work.
We'll go for it. So new relationship. How long?
Well, that's the thing. So he hasn't officially like asked, and I literally am like, well, you haven't made me officially your girl, but he's always like saying I'm his girl or whatever. So,
Yeah.
but I told him he has to ask. So
Yeah.
he's always like, be patient. He's like, I'm doing something. I promise. So,
Oh, he's gonna make like a big deal out of it.
I guess.
Oh.
So I'm like, okay. So we'll see.
That's fucking awesome.
But I'm not pressing it or whatever because
Yeah.
I just feel like with this is so like go with the flow, which I'm so incredibly thankful for. Like I feel like I've never been in something so easy, if that makes sense. Like everything has been organic. Everything's been a huge flow. So yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
been really cool.
That's awesome. I think that's really important at the beginning too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm assuming that stands out as different from before.
Yeah.
That's kind of how me and Kat were at the beginning too.
Yeah.
It was just felt easier than I don't know.
Every other thing.
Yeah, and it was just like, okay, I don't know. It stood out as obviously a good thing. But yeah, that's fucking awesome. I hope he comes back.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm gonna have him on later. I definitely wanted to reach out to him as well, but like I said, this is only episode number 3. Sherri on number 3.
What up?
And then I'll be back in Minnesota for a couple weeks, and then he was definitely one of the guys I wanted to ask when I got back. But about yourself.
Yeah.
So Sherri is a dancer.
Yes.
And I don't even entirely know
everything
you do in dance. So
speak on it.
how did you? Well, this is the come up.
Okay.
And so I want to hear how you grew up, basically how you got into dance. Obviously, it's a big passion of yours, probably the biggest in your life, I would assume, right now.
Yeah, it's always been,
So just
definitely.
how did that evolve, and you being out here, because you said you're from Texas?
Yeah,
so
from
tell me your story.
Houston. Okay, so, what up? From Houston, Texas.
Yep.
I've been dancing since I was 3 years old. My mom actually was a dancer, so
Okay.
not like how I am now with like everything industry wise, but she definitely danced when she was younger, did the whole high school dance team, all that.
Yeah.
But what I was told when I was younger was that she had always said, if I have a girl, she's going to dance.
Yeah.
Right. I actually did not like dance when I was younger, like at all. Like it was just kind of something I did. Like I think it was just I just did not like the ballet and the structure of it or whatever. But it wasn't until because I was doing dance and then I also was doing softball at the same time.
Yeah.
And I actually really loved softball a lot, but then it got to the point where my mom, because I have two brothers and schedules get busy and they're doing sports and it gets a lot just because my mom really was the one taking us everywhere. So schedule wise, it was a lot. And now being older, I understand that.
Yeah.
When I'm younger, I'm like, what? Why can't I do this, and this? Like, you think everything can just happen.
Exactly.
And it's like,
It's
no.
like they brought me the last time. Why can't they bring me again?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't get it. Like, you don't get so much until you get older. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, but anyway, so my mom, she was like, you have to do either softball or dance. And then at the time, I think I was like 7. So I was like first grade, right? At the time, this is funny. I was like, well, I get a lot more trophies in dance.
Hey.
So I was like,
hey, you recognize where your
yeah,
strong suits
I
are.
was like, because I guess dance was more of like a I thing rather than a team thing at the time. Obviously softball's team, but the thing is I love softball, the competitiveness. I grew up with all boys, so I'm very like into the competitive nature, sports, like all that, which I'm thankful for because it helped me later on in dance. But yeah, and then I chose dance, and then I feel like I really didn't fall in love with it until maybe like 7th grade. So it's been consistent in my life. Yeah, 13.
Right?
13.
You started when you were
13,
7?
14. I started when I was 3. Sorry, 3.
You just chose dance over softball at 7?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were doing it for a while, and then it just kind of grew on you as more of like, I love this.
Yeah, it just kind of like, it started as like kind of just something I was placed in, and then it was just kind of like a hobby, and then it was more so, I think what it was, I know what it was, when my parents divorced, and then it was kind of like my only outlet. And then I just I literally remember it so vividly, and like my mom was like, oh, I can't take you to dance or whatever, because there's a lot going on with my parents. I just remember I was crying. I was like, what? Like, that's kind of like when I knew. I was like, no, I think I love this, like, and stuff. And then, and then I think when my parents divorced, I got even more so in it and stuff. And whenever I got to high school, like freshman year, I was like, I'm going to do this as like a career. That's like when I finally was like, I think I'm going to pursue this as like an actual profession. And that's when like a huge shift happened. And I felt like from then on, it was just like I took it very, very seriously. And I could tell, because then from then on, like, that's when I just saw the constant improvement. And it was, it did really, really well. So did like conventions, competitions, all that. As far as dancing, I grew up like literally doing like ballet, tap, modern, jazz, contemporary, all point, all that stuff, literally everything.
Which one of those was your favorite?
Contemporary. Loved
Explain to me what that is. Is that like hip hop dancing?
So contemporary is more so a fusion of like ballet and jazz, and then also I like to say it has also its type of freedom and movement. So it's very like its own style.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's definitely a fusion of like ballet and jazz, and I really appreciate the what's the word for it? The not organicness. Yes, the organicness, but the discipline. I appreciate the discipline that you have to have, like just within like technical training. So, but I also enjoy like the freedom, flow, and the movement. Which is why I think I fell in love with contemporary, because I felt like I could tell a story.
Okay.
So yeah, that was more so
So
contempt.
did you feel it was more expressive way of dancing
Definitely.
versus the others?
I feel like that's where I found my love for dance, because I was able to express the most in that style, which is why I fell in love with contemporary. And I was like, oh my God, I love contemporary. Yeah.
And that was in high school, or was that afterwards?
That was in, I found, I guess, my love for it, like in like 7th grade. I had like when I first started contemporary, I like had my contempt teacher and stuff. And then from there, I just like loved it basically. And then I guess I was a huge So You Thinking Dance fan, and then watching it all the time on TV, and it just like, yeah, I just remember like every time it came on, like I was like in front of the TV, like had to watch it, like, and I would try all the moves that like I'd never seen before, like afterwards I'd be like, oh, I want to do this, or like the next day in the studio, like, yeah, it was just, I was very very driven, definitely as a kid. I feel like growing up, I could definitely see a difference in like how I was driven compared to a lot of people. For sure.
Yeah. And do you feel that was because you had older brothers who made you like kind of competitive person, or do you feel like
brothers?
You have younger brothers?
I'm the oldest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think the competitive nature came from my dad putting me in sports.
Okay. So it was just in you.
It was in me, and then also like I grew up always watching sports. So like my dad would always have the baseball games on, the football games on, and I'm a huge daddy's girl. So like I'd be there literally right by him watching it, and I'm like, oh, let's go, like cheering and stuff. But I think the competitive nature of watching, and then also ESPN would be on all the time, whether it was in the morning, not all the
Dad's
time.
a big sports fan.
Yeah, big sports fan, and same with my brother. So, and then also we would always grow up watching a lot of documentaries. So it was like watching the sports documentaries and sports movies were always my favorite, because I just really enjoyed the passion and drive, and then that just inspired me to put that into how I thought of dancing. So like growing up, I thought of dancing. I've always thought of dancing as a sport. Okay. So I always had like the competitive nature and the competitiveness of it, and like the go-getter of it, rather than just like kind of doing it.
Yeah. That's awesome though, that you recognize that to make that relation at a young age. Obviously there is other ways of dance. Like, do you think of high school dance? Did you do high school like dance team?
Yeah, I did a lot. I did studio dance. I did dance team in high school, and I also did. There's it's called like community. Okay. Like, or I guess you can call it like community dance or whatever. I just joined like it was like a hip hop crew like back in Houston, and they're literally like, in my opinion, also from Texas. I think they're the best in Houston. What up?
What are they called?
They're called So Real.
So Real.
Shout
out So Real.
Yeah, they were on ABDC and like all that
I was
stuff.
just gonna say that's what I fucking loved watching.
Yeah.
And when were they on? Because I honestly
they're on season 2.
Feel like I remember
with
them.
I think like Super Crew. It was like with they're like the Super Crew and the So Real, and then they had gotten second.
Was there like introduction video on like a basketball court?
I honestly don't remember.
For some reason, that's coming up in my head.
I'm like, I didn't know honestly what So Real was until like I got to high school. Yeah. Because I didn't watch ABDC until starting season 3.
Season 3.
So I barely missed being like, oh, they're from Houston, which is so crazy. But I started watching it season 3. But as far as, because my friend had got me into it, and I didn't even know it was a thing, because I wasn't allowed to. Right away. I wasn't allowed to watch MTV when I was younger. Like it was like, if I watched it, I had to watch it on like
quietly.
Yeah, quietly. Didn't tell my parents. like I was I feel like, I don't know, like I feel like I grew up conservative, and I had to find like a lot of things myself. Like I was just telling like a friend of mine, I was like, I didn't even, because they play like all this like soulful music and like just like old like R&B, old hip hop, all this stuff, whatever, and they're like, how do you not know this? And like, you like dance and everything, and I'm like, I just wasn't around. Like I grew up in country
Texas.
Yeah, like
so you were pretty far outside of Houston?
Well, no, not in the country. Like I grew up on country, like country music.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I grew up hella on country music. Can I say that?
Yeah, go for it. This is Was it unedited or
unedited?
Unedited.
So
Uncensored. That's what I'm looking for.
uncensored.
Yeah, we can
up
fucking
in
swear on
here.
this shit.
Yeah. But I grew up like on country music. Like
Yeah.
that's like there's like the rodeo in Texas. Like definitely went to the rodeo growing up. Like it was just like I had to find really like R&B myself.
Yeah.
And all that, and like hip hop myself, like music wise and everything. And I know I was more into R&B growing up, definitely, like as I found it.
So you big like Usher fan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Who was big before Usher? Like was it R. Kelly, and then
Yeah, I think like R. Kelly, Boyz II Men.
Yeah. See, I know that Boyz II Men. I know that name, but I couldn't think of the song of theirs. I probably heard it. I just don't know what it is, or it's that it's them.
Yeah.
I'm like that a lot with music though, especially older. I guess maybe it's just random, honestly, because there's not like a genre that I feel like. I just know a lot of songs, and I'll know a name of somebody, but I won't know that song is by that person or that group.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've probably heard their music, but just don't know it's them.
Yeah. That's how I feel even now.
Even now, yeah, same.
I'm like, yeah, I like that song. I'm like, who is it? I'm like, what? No way.
Wait, I know that person. Wait, that's them? Oh, I didn't fucking know
they
that.
did this too. What?
Or I'll just like, I don't know if I have off ears or something, but I'll
Uh-huh.
swear like a song is by somebody else, and
Yeah.
I'll just think that for a while. Like, oh, I recognize that voice. Then I'll find out months later it's not even that person. You're like, wait, what?
I thought it was
This
person
whole
the
time.
whole time.
Yeah, this whole fucking time.
That's how I feel about and he's on the come up, but I should have it here. But he's on the come up, but Don Toliver. So for a minute I thought Don Toliver was oh my gosh. Wow, I can't even think of it.
That keeps happening to me on this show. I think I just feel on the spot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of shit that I normally know, and it's just not coming to me. But
oh my god, he's literally from Houston. Like
no, you got
Kylie Jenner's dude. Are the one
Travis Scott?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was like, I couldn't think of it. I promise I know. But anyways, for a minute, I thought, because Travis Scott has a very distinct sound.
Yeah.
But for a minute, I thought Don Toliver was Travis Scott, because they kind of have very similar sounds. But I'm just seeing that it's like
I'm
popular.
in the same boat right now. I know that name, Don Toliver, but I can't think of a song that's his. But I probably heard it.
After party, you know my friends.
Okay.
That way.
Yeah.
But my favorite song of his is Euphoria. Pretty dope. Yeah. I feel like
he's from Houston too?
Yeah,
Don
he's
Toliver.
from Houston.
They both are?
He's from Houston. Meg the Stallion's from Houston.
Yeah.
So honestly, anything she does, I'm like, this means Houston, by the way. So
it's like this or backwards?
Backwards. Like this.
Isn't this Longhorns?
You could do this, but it's more so like this.
This?
Yeah.
Isn't this Longhorns?
Yeah. UT.
Yeah.
UT Longhorns.
Are you a Longhorns
in
fan?
Austin. I grew up being one. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say now it's just kind of like
Whatever.
I know of it. I wouldn't say I'm like a fan. But I grew up knowing like this as like UT Austin, like the Longhorns college team. But yeah, this is definitely Houston. So I feel like anytime people are like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, Houston.
Houston.
Yeah.
They're probably like, okay.
Yeah.
Whatever
like,
that
what?
was. I wouldn't have known that until you just told me right now. I probably would have been like, cool. I don't know.
Cool.
I'll
That's
do my
cool.
whatever. Yeah. Minneapolis. Sorry if I'm forgetting anybody, but Minneapolis, other than like atmosphere, doesn't, I feel like, have, at least in my lifetime, a big rap artist. But there's a big music scene there, so it's kind of surprising, honestly, thinking about now. I remember this dude, Alan Kingdom, had a big song a few years ago with Kanye, but other than that, also I'm not super heavy into that scene,
So
and
you're
I obviously
like,
don't live there anymore. So
people watching this are gonna be like,
they're gonna be like, fuck you.
This person's from there.
Yeah, they're like, all these people, dude. Yeah,
I know, literally
probably.
just now I was thinking, and I was like, I definitely said, oh yeah, Travis Scott, Meg the Stallion, Beyonce's from Houston.
Beyonce's from Houston.
That's huge.
Fucking Houston is.
I don't know if you.
I didn't even
do
know
you
they were
remember Hillary Duff?
Yeah, I remember that.
Hillary Duff's from Houston.
Yeah, Lizzie McGuire.
I love Hillary Duff. Yeah, Lizzie McGuire.
She still didn't she like just do
like a.
Didn't she do like some reunion fucking tour?
Maybe.
Am I making that up?
I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm not sure.
Maybe it was coming up and then COVID killed it.
Yeah, like a lot of things.
Yeah, COVID keeps doing that. Everything, literally. Fucking everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so you...
I know, kind of got super off track.
No, that's perfect.
That's how I am. I just kind of...
No, that's perfect.
I tell stories and I go into a bajillion other stories.
That's perfect. That's fucking perfect. So you were a dancer in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Realized you loved dance around freshman year? Or 7th grade, you said? 7th grade?
7th grade. And then that's when I started going to different dance intensives. I went to the Joffrey Ballet Intensive, like in New York. So, but that was actually when I was 15.
Is that like a camp?
Yeah. I went there when I was 15. So I was in New York for like a good month and a half just by myself.
Damn.
Like, yeah, a little
15 in New York by yourself?
Yep.
Roaming around?
Yep.
Damn.
But I was dancing the whole time. But yeah, I did that. I did different intensives. I did that. There's a dance company in Texas called the Met. So I did their intensive, I think, pretty much every summer in high school.
Yeah. That's in Houston?
And I did many different dance conventions. We never really traveled as far as for nationals and all that, just because, like, growing up, we didn't necessarily have the money to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah, but you did what you could.
Yeah, basically. I did what I could, definitely.
There's got to be some big ones in Texas that come to Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely big dance conventions, and especially Houston, because Houston's actually a very big dance community in general. So pretty much every major dance convention, dance competition, like, always hits Houston.
Okay. That's fucking sick.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was a big plus for me growing up. I feel like if anything nationals-wise happens in Texas, it's usually in Galveston. It's not, which is like by the beach, all that stuff.
Okay. I always forget Texas has a coast.
It's not the prettiest.
Is it
the
not?
water's
I haven't
like
been
brown.
there. Is it? Really?
And yeah, it's not the best.
Is it just naturally like that, or is it
I think
polluted?
just based off of all the like trash and all that stuff. But as far as like Galveston itself, I do like Galveston. I just don't like the water. I feel like if you're from Texas, like, you know not to go in the water.
Really?
Like, that's like a thing. Like, you can go to Galveston, but
just
don't go in
swimming.
the water. Yeah, don't go in the water. But yeah, I definitely did that. And then I just did really, really well growing up as far as like when it came to dancing. Like, I always won a lot of like the top awards, like at different dance conventions. Like, they had like a lead dancer of the weekend and all that stuff. So I guess it's like once I started winning those, that's when I kind of knew I was like, oh, I'm kind of good.
Yeah.
And it obviously, like the more you succeed, the more obviously you believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Which I feel like I've always believed in myself, but that's like that, like, I feel like takes it up like a notch to like just like kind of.
Once you're getting results, you're saying?
Yeah. Once it's like getting results, exactly. So that, and then when it came to like the high school drill team dance scene, that's where I definitely escalated a lot. Like, but I also saw that what I had to offer, there wasn't. It's funny, I guess, talking this way, because I wouldn't talk like this when I was younger. But I knew what I had to offer. There wasn't like a market for that in like the scene, because what I noticed is like there was a lot of dancing happening, but there wasn't dancing with feeling. And I feel like dancing's not dance if you don't dance with feeling. So it's like, that's where I saw the big difference, I guess, in that market.
I feel like it was just like heartless.
Not heartless, but it was very like military like T.
Yeah, like robotic.
Yeah, like kinda. And I was like, where's like the feeling in it? Like, I was just very confused.
Yeah.
And I just remember always telling my team, because I was like an officer, and which is like kind of like one of the captains, and I was like, y'all have to dance with feeling. You have to feel it. Like, and they'd always make fun of me for it, but I'm just like,
let's fucking go, girls.
Yeah, let's go. Like, you have to feel it. Like, they would always make fun of me, but I didn't care.
Hey,
but
I'm sure you made them better.
Yeah, well, I hope so. But yeah, so kind of did that, and then I don't know, I just like really love dance. And then I came out here to LA. I actually auditioned for the school AMDA. It's a performing arts college. They have a location like LA and New York, but I ended up getting in with the scholarship and everything, because my mom was like, you're only going if you get a scholarship. So I was like, so
you got into a dance school out here?
Yeah.
And it's called AMDA?
Yeah.
AMDA. Is that an acronym?
American Musical and Dramatic Academy.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
Ended up going there. and moved out here in LA. Literally never visited the campus, so I was just trusting my heart and gut. I'm like, well, I hope it's good. Like, put all this money into it. Like,
I better fucking like it.
yeah, I better like it. So, yeah, and I can say my entire 4 years being there, I had the best experience I probably could have ever had.
That's awesome.
But I also, going in there, went into it being like, whatever I put into it is what I'm going to get out of it. And I think that's exactly what happened. 'Cause I know many people also go there and they don't get a lot out of it. And then they talk bad about it and da-da-da-da. But I feel like that goes with anything. Like,
yeah, they didn't really try.
Yeah, they didn't try as much as they could have, or like put in as much work as they could have. Because even going there, like, so many people would be like, Sherri, like, you work so hard. Like, I feel like my 100% is like your 70%, or like stuff like that. And I'd have teachers and my mentors tell me, and they'd be like, Sherri, you don't even have to. They would literally be like your 50% is other people's 100. Like, you, like, sometimes you don't have to like try that hard. But that was hard for me to hear, because I always was like, no, I always have to try hard. I always have to do this. But eventually, growing up and being in it, then I understood what they were saying, because kind of to match, I guess, the energy in the room, I had to be at a 50% rather than 100%.
So did you feel like your effort was almost making you stand out in a negative way?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, definitely, yeah. Because it was like, what I had to learn was having to blend like with the group. Because ultimately, if you're dancing in a group, you have to blend in the group, or else it's gonna like just be like a standout sore thumb type thing.
Yeah, it's got to be uniform, right?
Exactly. And it's like you have to learn not only how to dance as as an individual, but also like together. And that's a huge thing too in the industry as well. Like, you have to learn how to dance together and different things. So yeah, so I just felt like I got a lot out of that. And now what's really cool is after I graduated, like a year later, then they asked me to start recruiting for them. So now they send me out just across the country to find dancers. And
oh, so that's who you're a recruiter for?
Yeah.
Same school you went to?
So I recruit for the same school I went to, and I literally just give out like college scholarships. I'm like, just based off of talent. It's really cool. Because I just remember being in high school and being like, man, like, I just wish they had like high school recruiters like they do in football, like, but for dance. Like, it's just not fair. Yeah, I used to be like, it's not fair. Like, I just wish that was a thing. And I think I remember saying that because I knew how hard I worked. Yeah. I worked so fucking hard. So I was like,
and you just felt like you couldn't be seen, really?
Kind of, yeah. And I was like, I just wish that was a thing, like, and stuff. So I think it's so cool, I guess, now being older and being like, the thing I used to wish for, I'm now doing that thing. And providing the opportunity for like all these other dancers that like could go to college. Because then I literally think back to my story, and I'm like, my mom literally said, if you don't get a scholarship, you're not going. So I'm giving these scholarships out to these kids, being like, I'm literally could change their whole like thing of going to LA or New York of their choice, based off of that. Because I'm sure many parents feel that way. If you're not getting a scholarship, you're not going. So like every time I give out a scholarship, I'm like, whoa. I'm like low-key changing like a person's life right now.
For real.
So it's really
if
cool.
they take advantage of it.
If they take advantage of it, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, obviously you're doing your part, so then it's just up to them. But that's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool that you literally got to become what you felt would have benefited you. Yeah, that's really cool just to see that. Yeah. Moment where you become that person for this other person. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. And did you create that position, or like was that a thing before when we were in high school, or you were in high school?
I didn't know it was a thing while I was even in college. Like, it was a thing, but I don't know if it got created like later on while I was in college. Like, I didn't even know the job existed until they asked me. Yeah. And mind you, this is a funny thing. They asked me once I got fired from my job I was working at the time.
At the school?
No, I was out of school at the time. Okay. And then crazy story. So I graduated. I just did my senior show, just got asked to have a meeting with Block Talent Agency, which is like one of the like top dance agencies like out here in LA and New York. But I just got asked to have like a meeting with them, which usually if you have a meeting with them, it's like you're gonna get signed and stuff. So all that, and then graduated, and then went to an audition. It was a Jason Derulo audition. Did one of my specialty tricks. My foot got caught and tore my ACL.
No.
2 days later, after I graduated. Crazy. I literally am like, yeah, I graduated, super excited for the industry, and then like, boom, like, haha, sorry, you're actually not gonna be dancing for like a year. It was crazy.
That's like heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And that was, so was that
February 2018 is when I graduated the 10th, and then I tore my ACL the 12th.
Fuck. That's so shitty.
It was literally the craziest thing.
And have you had any big injuries before that?
In college, there was a semester I wasn't dancing, and because I tore, I believe it was on my right ankle. I tore like 4 different ligaments in my ankle. It was like on the inside, 2 on the inside, 2 on the outside. So I was just out for the semester, which is like 15 weeks. So I was just like couldn't dance. That one was hard, but I overcame that, so that was fine. But definitely the hardest thing up to date was definitely the ACL and like having to recover for that, because it's like you have to literally relearn how to walk. Like it's not even, I remember like having the surgery, and like because prior to the surgery I was going to PT, but like my knee would just pop in and out randomly, and it was the most painful thing, like whenever that would happen and stuff. And yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, so and then I finally got surgery, and then like I basically was on bed rest for like a month and couldn't like walk for like a month. So, and I had to relearn how to walk, which was crazy. So
then relearn how to dance too, right?
Well, essentially,
basically.
Yeah, basically.
Fuck.
Yeah. But at the time, I just remember being like, I don't even care. Like, obviously, yes, I'm going to dance again. But at that time, it was like, I just want to walk. Like, I wasn't even thinking of dance at the time. I was like, I just want to be able to walk. And then that's what made me, like, I feel like now I don't really take things for granted. Like, the basic things in life. Like, you really don't know how much, like, that is a privilege until it's taken away. Like, just being able to walk, I'm like, I just want to walk. What? Like, it was crazy. That was the craziest time. And on top of all of that, I was going through a breakup that I'd been in a relationship with for almost like 2 years. So having like also that mental and emotional on top of an ACL tear, and that emotional
and your bed rest.
It was just a.
You literally couldn't walk.
It was a.
I'm guessing you had to stay in bed. You just had to lay there and think about it.
I had to think about myself. I was just a lot emotionally. I was like, it was a lot. But I think that
rough.
that time built me into the human, like definitely part of the human I am today.
Oh yeah.
But
damn,
that's
a rough
crazy.
time.
Yeah. And they said that it was supposed to be, I mean, essentially it did take a year for full healing, but my ass, I push every injury. I'm like, no, I'm gonna come back faster than what they say.
I'm gonna be better than that.
I'm gonna come out faster. So they said 8 months to a year, and I started dancing at 6 months.
Fuck.
Yeah, but I also like I did
Adrian Peterson.
Right. I did the PT. I did my PT, but I also I would always do because my PT was always like 2 hours anytime I went, and that was like maybe 2-3 times a week. And then on top of that, every single day I went to the gym for 3 hours a day. So it was like I was really like
you're busting ass.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I would be at home I had like a home bike at home, and I'd have to do my home bike for an hour every single day, like for my ACL recovery.
Yeah.
So I would be doing that on top of my like little stretches and home workouts at home. So I just constantly, like, during that time period, I was probably, honestly, I feel like probably the most fit I was, and like just like very like just I really grew mentally because I was like, I knew what I wanted. So yeah, that's where I definitely, like, I always knew I had a strong mentality, but that really tested my strength and as far as like my mentality. But yeah, but at the same time, I'm kind of grateful. I'm very grateful I went through it, because I think that was part of my story. Because I even got people while I was going through it, and then also even months later after going through it. I just had people like constantly hitting me up, and they were like seeing you go through your injury like really like inspired me. Like, I'm going through the same thing right now, but seeing that now you're back dancing and doing like so well, like just keeps reminding me like just to keep going. So it really is like what you do in your story like really inspires people that you don't even know. Like, I had some girl from Canada email and message me, and I was like, I don't even know this girl. Like, what? Like, that's wild. And like, I had people like from AMDA, like when I went to school, and like the younger, I guess, incoming freshmen, sophomores or whatever.
Just
undergrads.
Underclasses.
I don't even know if that's a thing, underclasses.
Yeah, younger
classes.
Yeah, whatever, same thing.
But they would message me, and they just be like, I remember one specifically. It was, she had messaged me, and she was like, "Hey, Sherri, I just wanted to reach out, and like today in class they asked us like who like inspires us right now at the moment, and I just want to let you know, like I said, you, just like based off of like what you're overcoming right now, like, and after everything you've been through and stuff." And I don't know, it's just like that kind of stuff like really made me like be like, wow, like I think God put me through what I needed to go through, not only for myself but even more so for others, to see, like, because he knew I would do it. He knew I would overcome it. I knew I would overcome it. I had the mentality, I was like, nah, I'm gonna dance again, da 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 da. But for me to be like an example for others, to be like, it's possible, like don't allow all these limitations to just keep you away from like what you can actually do and what you actually want to pursue. So and that way I'm very grateful, but it was a very challenging time.
I can imagine, obviously physically, but especially mentally.
Mentally, I think mentally it was harder mentally than it was physically, because mentally I was dealing with it even after I recovered, and even getting back into dance,
the
and
fear of doing it again.
Fear of doing it again, because some styles like heels, I couldn't do heels I avoided heels like basically all last year, because like my knee, like literally I legit could not like bend my knee like to like how they needed it. So that was super crazy, but I don't know, eventually I was able to do it. But I think mentally it like kind of fucked with me a little bit, definitely with injury wise, because I would get in my head at times and be like, I'm not as good as I was before, all this stuff. But it's important to just remind yourself that you're constantly growing, and like you're never going to be the person you were before, and like you have to work with everything you are now, because everything that you have in front of you, have around you, is like everything you need to become the person that you're supposed to be. So like having to remind myself stuff like that and be like, I have everything I need now to become everything I want to be. So affirmations.
That's just an awesome fucking mindset to have. And like I'd imagine that hearing from all those people helped you stay even more motivated, maybe. Through that time.
And it was crazy, because anytime I received any of those messages, it was at times where I would like kind of start doubting myself, or like started doubting my ability, and then I'd receive those messages and be like, I have to keep going.
Do you ever contact those people? Like afterwards?
Yeah, definitely. Like, and we would keep in contact, and I'd just be like, oh, how are you doing, like, and all this stuff. So yeah, definitely. But it was just, I don't know. And I would just hear a lot of things about, like, even when I came back dancing, they're like, that's so inspiring that you're even able to like still dance, because a lot of people from like an ACL tear, not just in dance, any sport, they just don't come back. And I'm like, to me, I'm like, how can you not do that? Like, but I also felt like graduating 2 days, or graduating then 2 days after tearing it, I was like, I have to come back. Like I felt like I had no other choice, because I was like, I hadn't even started.
Yeah, you literally just.
Yeah, like I was like, I don't even have, like, I have to do this. Like, it was crazy.
You
like
were
that.
just getting.
Literally. And the thing was in college, I was doing things. Like, I kind of broke the rules in college. So it was like, so we signed this contract going into college.
Yeah. With
the dance theater program, and you weren't allowed to do anything outside. It kind of was like you just had to do, as far as like outside auditions, like you could do classes, but you couldn't do like outside auditions or really like any outside jobs and stuff while you were in school.
Why is that?
I think it was more so they wanted to prepare you fully before you went out. But me, I was like, well, if I don't do those things, I'm not taking advantage of the fact of me being out here. So while I was in school, I remember there's a specific, I did outside classes.
Yeah.
Didn't tell anybody. I did one specific outside audition, and it was for who's now like one of the top choreographers in the world, if not the top choreographer in the world. Her name is Paris Goebel.
Okay.
And she had this thing called the Paris Project, and it was an open audition, so anybody can audition. So I was like, everything in my heart was like, go, like, just do it. And at the time, I remember music-wise, she was working with people from back home in Houston that I knew. So I was like, that also were a part of my studio back home called So Real. So I was like, yo, this is like, I have to, like, if I don't at least go and try, like, so, because she had a contemporary audition, and then she had a hip-hop audition. The only one I was able to go to, I wanted to go to both, but I could only go to the contemporary one, which worked in my favor, because I would say I'm considered a contemp dancer at the time. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go to the contemporary audition. And I just remember, I love auditioning, because I see that as, like, game time. So I see that as like playing a game, like for like sports or whatever, like football. Like when it comes to the audition, it's like, okay, let's go. Like all the fire, like all the beast mode, like you basically just show out everything you are or whatever. So that's why I love auditioning. There's a lot of people, they're like, I hate auditioning. And I'm like, I fucking love it. Like, this shit's fun. Like, I'm about to smoke you. Like, like just having that mentality. It's just fun.
You're definitely probably better at it for that.
Yeah. So.
For sure.
Yeah. So
you're not nervous?
I wasn't nervous at all, because I literally thought about it. I was like, at the end of the day, I get a free class. Like, that's how you have to think about it. Like, when you're there, it's like, I get a free class going into this audition, or like at the end of the day, like me being here, I gain something, rather than, you're never losing anything, because whether you gain what not to do or whether you gain what to do, like you're always learning constantly with the more you put yourself out there and try. And that goes with everything. So did the audition, and then I just remember she had me and one other girl, like towards the end. Like, it was still a big room, but like I guess we were kind of, and what I found out later on when talking to one of the dancers, she was like, oh yeah, she was looking out both of y'all to like basically choose between y'all, like compete against each other, whatever. And yeah, I just remember I was like, well, when I dance, I'm gonna like kind of like tell a story when I dance, which was the difference I think between us, because the other girl was kind of just dancing, and I was like, I'm gonna tell a story. Because dancing at the end of the day is just speaking. So yeah, but I just remember I ended up getting told later on that night that I ended up booking it, and I was like, what? Like, what? But also in my heart, I felt like I booked it. Like when I left,
you knew
like,
you did good. Yeah,
I was like regardless, I just remember leaving, because even when I went back to school, they were like, oh, how was the audition? The people that knew I went. And I was like, it went really, really well. Like, regardless of what happens, I'm just proud of myself for going, and I'm excited for whatever. And then later on, I actually found out that I ended up getting it, and then that weekend basically shot my first music video.
That's so cool.
And that was my first LA audition. So my first LA audition I booked. So I was like, what? Like, and for like the top choreographer, like.
That's
so I was like, that's wild. So yeah, so did that. And then I remember the day we shot the video, I had a final, and I had to tell my teacher, and I was like, I can't go. And then she was like, she was like, I understand why you can't go, but just know that like you are paying for school, da 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 da. Which I got, but at the same time I was like, I'm out here at the end of the day, like I'm doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I'm going to school to do what I just did.
Exactly.
Or what I'm doing currently.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss school for what I'm
So,
going to school for.
Yeah. So I honestly was like, I don't care. I don't mind. But then there was like a 2-part to the final. So I ended up getting a B. So it ended up being fine anyways. But I think it's because like she liked me. So she was like, it's fine.
Did
like,
she let you do the part you missed, or you just couldn't make it up?
I couldn't make that up, but the way I could make it up was, I guess, from the second part.
Yeah.
And stuff. Cause I did well. I did well in school. I did really well in school. Yeah. So yeah, did that. That was an outside thing.
What was the music video?
That's the video actually never got released. Like she released it whenever she did it in Vegas, like her show in Vegas, but she never actually released the actual project. And I'm like, what? But it was cool. It was really cool to be a part overall. I mean, the song is out. The song's really dope. But the project, like the project she did, because it wasn't just an LA video. She did, the Paris project was kind of like a world thing. So she went to London, had a video there, went to New Zealand, had a video there, went to Paris, had a video there.
And they didn't release it?
That she only released, I think, maybe 2 videos, but everything else never got released.
Why?
And I'm like, I don't know. But I just kind of was like, whoa. I'm like, dang. I personally have a copy of the video because I ended up, she actually asked me to do she had a show in Vegas at Hip Hop International. And I got
Who was it?
Who
was the artist?
Oh, it was Paris Goebel. So the choreographer,
yeah,
she was also, so the Paris project, like it was for her album.
Oh, so she's like a singer too?
She's done music, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was for that. So it was for her music video. So she
so
she was basically putting on her own show, and she had asked me, and I was like a contemporary soloist for one of her songs or whatever. And that was actually really cool. And I was out in Vegas for like 2 weeks.
That's so dope.
Yeah, it was really, really cool.
You're fucking killing it out here.
That was while I was in college. So I was doing all this while I was in college. I was in this production called The Shout while I was in college.
And they didn't
in the summer.
They weren't mad at you? Because you obviously had to tell them you had to miss the final for something.
Yeah. I think they eventually knew I was gonna just do my own thing.
Yeah.
But I think they also saw the opportunity in that, because I feel like now, because I had done that, I feel like it inspired other dancers that went to the school to do outside things, which I feel like that's how it should be. Is yes, you're training, but you should also be exploring your opportunities while you're in school.
Yeah.
Because that's how you're gonna grow. Because the way I looked at it, I was like, I'm in LA, like I'm gonna use the fact I'm in LA and build my network. So like, because I think it's stupid if like, okay, I went to college for like 3.5, 4 years, like dancing in LA, but I didn't build any type of network outside. Like, and I think my mentality was, I'm going to build my network while I'm in school. So then by the time I leave school, I'm already booking.
Yeah.
Which that's how it was until I tore my ACL. Because it was like I was booked all the way till August.
Fuck.
And then I tore my ACL. Then it was like, boom. Oh, that's good. But it's okay. I'm always like, it's okay. I think it worked out, because I think the greatest blessing is, so my first job I booked back once I was recovered was for Jennifer Lopez. So, and it was like her music video Medicine. And I remember getting that email from my agent, and it was like, you've direct booked J-Lo music video, da, 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 da. And that was like my first job basically back from my injury. And I was like, what? Mind you, J-Lo was like the top of my list to work with. Like, I want to work with like J-Lo. Like, that's, she, like, even to this day, like, I look up to her so much.
You
like,
got her vibe.
I love her.
I was thinking about
like,
that.
I love her.
When I was thinking about who to compare you to or whatever, because I knew you were coming on, that's like funny. Because that's kind of the person that I was thinking about.
Like
as a famous person.
I feel like she's like the most, to me, how she inspires me. I think she's just incredibly limitless.
Yeah.
And that inspires me, especially as like a woman and like a Latina woman and stuff, because I come from a Latina background. So I literally like, she is like how people love Beyonce. Like that's how I feel about J-Lo. Like I'm like, I love J-Lo. I'm a J-Lo fan over Beyonce.
I feel she's up there.
But yeah,
for sure.
I definitely love her. Kind of just everything she does, like it just really inspires me. Like how she's like, she went from being a dancer first, and then she went to acting, and then
I just watched we just watched one of her movies actually, the cheesy Anaconda. It was kind of funny. I forgot she was in there. We were young when that came out. But I was like, oh fuck, that's J-Lo. Yeah, she's like 50 years old now, isn't she?
She's 51.
That's
she
crazy.
looks amazing.
She's still just doing
like, I'm like, I hope I look like you at 51. But I'm also like, so my mom my mom looks so young, and she's 43 now.
Okay.
I believe.
Damn, she had you young.
Yeah, she had me at 19.
Wow.
So my mom was very like, she definitely didn't want to have me like, I guess, have kids young, because she knew the sacrifice that it would have been, and like with my career choice, she knew that wasn't like gonna, I guess, work. It can work for like it does. I know of stories that it has worked for tough. People, but it's very difficult, and that's like what she's always told me, and I'm like, I
feel like you'd have to live if you were from here, so then maybe you had your parents to watch your kid while you went to an audition or class. And my mom also was
like, if you had a kid, you'd have to come home.
Yeah.
Which I completely understand. Like,
you'd go home?
It depends on, I think, who it would be with. Definitely.
Fair enough.
Because it's like, if they're supportive or not, etc.
Yeah, your situation would definitely matter.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Yeah. I think the situation matters.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, so my mom's pretty young, but she has really good genes. So I literally always am like, I hope I look like my mom when I'm older. I always think that way. I'm like, dang. But
she likes that.
Yeah.
She's happy you feel that way.
I'm pretty sure. Like, but my mom's a beast. Like, she like works out all the time. Like,
does she?
Like, I literally am like, Mom, you're like more fit than like me. I'm like, that's freaking crazy. Like, she's always in the gym. Like,
and she's been like that forever?
Huh?
She been like that forever?
No, I feel like she didn't start getting that way until I think after her second marriage. And then I guess, no. Yes, after the second marriage, but she had hurt her spine there was like a hurricane in Texas. Forgot what it's called. Hurricane. We've had multiple hurricanes growing up, but it was the one that like flooded the entire city of Houston. So anyways, that hurricane, so she was helping out, like cleaning out the houses and stuff because they were flooded. Yep. And I think with all the toxins that were there and just like all the water and the bacteria, it got to her and she had fainted and she had hit her head, and then it like messed up her spine somehow, like with just how she fell. So she had a spine injury that she had recovered for like a year.
Fuck.
And then because of that, because basically the doctors were like, you have to do all these exercises, and then I think that's what got her really onto fitness. And then from there, that's basically, I think, where it started.
It just becomes a habit.
Yeah. And then she so she's always on her fitness game. She's always, even the way she eats, I'm like super duper healthy. Like, yeah. I'm like, my mom's a boss. Like, my mom's like a fitness inspiration to me. I'm like, what? Like, for her age, I'm like, that's awesome. I hope I look like you.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So you did the J-Lo music video, and how was like the actual experience of doing the video?
I remember being on it and I was like, I want to do this all the time. Yeah. So, because getting the call was like, what? Like, that was crazy. And then we learned everything on set. So usually you learn everything like in a studio or something, but also sometimes you do learn things on set, because I've done that multiple times. But we learned everything literally on set, rehearsed that day. It was a 2-day process.
Cheers in the tequila.
Yes. Cheers.
I know you've been sipping, but I'm just starting.
So it was a 2-day process.
Nothing wrong with tequila. Monday afternoon, right?
Right. Monday. Hopefully I'm gonna be dancing after this, you guys. I'll give an update as far as how I do in class afterwards.
They'll be like, is someone drinking in here?
Yeah. Did someone drink tequila?
Yeah. Who's got? Yeah. It's just Sherri.
Yep. Hopefully they don't know. Usually I'm like pretty far away. I like to challenge myself and like stand in different spots every time I train. So I like to stand in the back a lot because the way I look at it is if I stand in the back and I learn from there. Usually in a big audition, you're not always in the front, or you don't always have the opportunity to be in the front. So if you can learn and train yourself to do it in the back and still get it, then that's a big quality and skill to have. Because then it's like you can pick up anything anywhere. So I try to go to different spots all the time. So that's why I'm not limited to like I have to be here to get it.
Yeah, and then you stress out if you're not.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm not in the front. Da, 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 da. I actually hate being in front.
Do you?
Like whenever I'm learning. Like
just because you feel like you're on the spot?
I just feel like I think growing up, now I find myself more in the front. Now that I'm saying that, I actually find myself more in the front. I think it depends on the teacher.
Yeah.
But I find myself more in the front because I can see the details, but also don't have the best eyes with my vision. So I literally am like, let me be in the front and like get these details, make sure I'm doing everything right.
Do you need glasses?
Well, I have contacts, but sometimes they don't really work. Yeah. So that's that. But yeah.
You're squinting in the back.
No, especially if I don't have my contacts. I remember there was some times where I was at different dance conventions, and mind you, there's not a mirror. You just see them, and they're facing the back, and I literally would be staring at them. I'm like, I really don't know what they're doing, because it's like I like physically couldn't see. I was like,
yeah,
they went somewhere here, and then here, and then guy. Like I don't know, just. Well,
then you can just interpret what they're doing, and it looks like you're dancing with your emotion.
Yeah, basically.
She's close. She's just.
Yeah.
Emotions coming through her.
Yeah.
She's tweaking
has a feeling. That's great. But I think growing up during convention, actually, no. If I am in the front, I like to learn front side instead of front and center. I don't like going front and center because I feel a lot of pressure learning front and center. Unless I'm assisting, that's different because it's like I already know it prior. Like it's like I'm very familiar with the person's style, so like I'm chilling. But I like, for the most part, being front and side to the very side because it's like I still have the mirror, but then also like I'm still kind of like in my own little world.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
You just feel like you kind of have more space, I guess.
Yeah.
To learn something.
Yeah.
That
Definitely.
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I'd probably like that myself too better.
But yeah.
Just feeling like you can actually feel it out and do it without having your eyes on you if you fuck up or something.
Yeah.
But
basically, because I definitely fuck up multiple times in class. Like that's inevitable.
Yeah,
but
you're learning.
I think that's part of the learning because it's like if you don't fuck up at least a few times in class, it's like, are you really like going for it? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's cool.
All right, so the J-Lo thing. I just want to hear this story.
Sorry,
I interrupted you last time with the tequila.
Good. I know. I literally, I told you I go from story to a bajillion other stories.
No, it's perfect.
But okay, so get on set and we literally Nappy Tabs is choreographing it, and they basically are J-Lo's directors, and they direct a lot of things or stuff. So I was there, and then we were learning from Nappy Taps. There's a group. There's like maybe like I would say like maybe 30 of us girls, like for it, because we were on a cake tier, so it had to be a lot just for like the cake tier effect. There's a choreographer from back in the day called his name was Busby Berkeley, so they call it like Buzzley Berkeley style, because like his with like 42nd Street and just like all this, he would have just many dancers to create pictures, visual pictures. So that's like basically what this specific style was for visual pictures and Busby Berkeley style. If you see the video and the cake tier and everything, you'll
this
get
cake
it.
tier is literally just kind of like levels up like a cake would be.
Yeah, it's like 3 different levels.
Okay, yeah.
And then the fourth one was J-Lo on top.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was that. And then J-Lo was like singing, and then we're doing like all the dancing and the cool like picture effects and stuff. But we get on set and we learn it the day of, and then Philip Shabib is also there to like do all like the little hand intricate movement and stuff. So we learned that, and then I'm on set for like probably like 8 hours. Definitely got paid overtime. It was great money.
Yeah. But exhausting.
Yeah. Oh, well, I didn't mind because I was like, I'd rather do that than like be chilling at my house all day. You know what I mean? And I'm making money I'm basically making money doing what I love.
You're doing your career.
Literally.
Yeah.
So
you're doing the dream you're chasing.
Yeah. So was doing that, and I learned a lot being on that job. So did that, and then the whole day was on the cake tier, did everything. And then mind you, the girl that was right next to me, because we were going over, and they were like, if you have to go, you have to go. The girl next to me had to go. So like I also being just like somebody knowing that she probably is gonna have to relearn all this stuff, I was like making sure I was like, I need to know this, so, and also get my spacing correct, because like she's gonna be right there. So like I had like double duty and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. So and then so that all happened, and then the very next day we had like a day off. So we had a day off, and then we came back the next day. I think it was a Saturday off, and then we came back that Sunday. So that Saturday we had off, but then they emailed us and they were like, actually, we changed the choreography. Learn this from the video. So we had to learn a whole set of new choreography from the video than what we actually learned. I was like, oh my God. So I had to do that. Of course, I was like, I got to perfect this. Da, 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 da. And then went on set, and I was like, okay, I know this. It's cool. All this stuff. But I also was making sure I knew the old stuff, because when it comes to set and everything, choreography, they can be like, oh, we're actually going to use the section we learned the first day and then just place it in this section. Da, 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 da. So you like literally just have to know you have to know everything. You're like,
wait, so they taught
you're like,
you,
okay, so you want the first section for this part, and then the section we did the other day, but then put that in like the middle of the section.
So they made like a mix of the two things you learned?
Basically, yeah. So I was like, okay. And then mind you, this is set day, so we're rehearsing for that on top of, yes, we're getting dressed. And they were like, oh, by the way, because we learned this all in tennis shoes, right? Oh, by the way, you're going to be in heels. On a moving cake.
And
no, this cake tier is moving. So you're moving with it.
And you just came back from your ACL too.
I just came back from my ACL too. So I literally am like, I'm doing this in heels on top of like still recovering from my ACL. I try not to think of that, because I try not to let that limit my...
Yeah. But it had to be in the back of your mind a little bit.
But
just the fear of doing
definitely.
it again.
And I was like, because my balance isn't like super 100. So I was like, okay. So, yeah. But I think when it comes to set, you just have to get the job done. I think the overall experience was like, it was so dope. And I just remember seeing J-Lo, and I was like, whoa. Like, she literally looks like a Barbie doll. Like, it's crazy. Like
in a good way or a bad way?
No, like a great way. Like she literally like, she's like one of those people I feel like you like just can't stop staring. Like she's like literally beautiful. Like you're like, oh my God. Like you're literally a Barbie doll. Like it's crazy.
And I'm sure, you idolize her.
And on top of that, like she's like one of my favorite artists and like people I've ever like, she's somebody I've always looked up to. So I was
she's literally like this mythical person too.
Basically, kind of. And I was like, oh my God, is J-Lo like if there's like a spirit, like she's not an animal, but if I had a spirit animal, quote unquote, she would be it. I'd be like, oh, J-Lo is my spirit animal. Da, 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 da. But
say spirit celebrity.
I guess so. I don't know. Like, but I also never want to say like I idolize her. I don't ever, because I don't want to ever be like I idolize somebody.
Yeah.
But I definitely do look up to her, like with her way of thinking. Like she's one of the hardest working people in the business. Sure.
That's a good way to put it.
So it's like, so it's like I definitely look up to her, and definitely her mentality I think is one of the strongest mentalities ever. So I definitely always like look up to that.
I think that's interesting you say that, because I feel that same way about people and like celebrities. I feel like it also helps me because I'm trying to act. Mm-hmm. I feel like the whole idea with like an idolization of like a celebrity is they seem unhuman. Mm-hmm.
I agree.
So like,
and they're just literally
once you realize like, oh, that's just another guy.
Yeah.
He's like done something incredible. and whatever worked his way to some place, or a girl. But they're just a person. So yeah, I think the thought of like, oh, I look up to that person, I don't idolize them, is like,
I think living in LA helps a lot with that, because it's like, even yesterday I just watched on Netflix, there's this movie called The Prom that just came out. It's
yeah,
like
I saw
movie
the
musical
trailer for it.
Yeah, and I know many dancers in that movie, so like seeing it, I was like,
Oh, that could have been me.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, one, definitely yes, that. But also one of my mentors was in it, and I call him, he's like my dance dad. And he was in it, and I was like, oh my God, let's go, Yusuf. Like, that's so cool. Like, it was just really inspiring. But also, like, it's just on that note, I feel like a lot of people don't realize, like, how attainable it actually is. And they think, like, it's so far-fetched. And, like, especially, like, people that don't really, I feel like, leave their town, leave their city.
100%.
They're like, that dream's funny. That dream's da-da-da. Like, I always got laughed at being like, I want to be a dancer. Like,
100%.
I, like, always got, like, looked at a type of way, or, like, but I never let that bother me, because I always knew I could do it.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, y'all can say all this or whatever, da-da-da-da, but watch me. And, like, it's kind of cool now, like, knowing I've done like multiple credible things and stuff, and I'm continuing to, like,
You're young.
I haven't reached my peak. That for sure. I definitely know, like, I definitely know there's gonna be a time where it's like boom, 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 and not just with dance, but also just like everything I've been meaning to do, or that I'm meant for and stuff. So I think it's really cool, like, I guess now doing the styling thing, and being on top of that. I actually just got into, which starts in January of 2021. I'm now going to be like on an internship for this celebrity stylist. So, like,
dope.
I'm so excited. So I'm going to be doing that. And then actually just today, I also am like knocking on wood, because I don't want to like say things and like
and then it
things
gets fucked
fizzle
over
out, you know? But I'm like, where's the wood? Over here.
Yeah. Get that cabinet.
Yeah. But then today I had one of my mentors, who I've been training with the past like 5 months, like, and he was like, hey Sherri, do you create and like choreograph and stuff? And I was like, yes. Like, that's because when I was back home, I was choreographing and assisting more than I would, and teaching classes more than I was actually dancing. Like, yes, all of it's essentially dancing, but like when I was back home, I never felt like I was an actual student. Like, once I got to high school, when I was in high school, it was like, okay, you're going to teach all the kids, you're going to choreograph, you're going to do all this. So I felt like that was what I was doing. So whenever I got to LA, I was like, I want to be a student. And so whenever I really got to AMDA, and was training literally like from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. every single day, like, which is insane, first of all. But also, I loved every bit of it. Like, I look back and I'm like, wow, I really did that. Like, what? It's kind of like not human, but like, so it allows me to know like what I'm capable of.
Yeah, you can do more, even when you feel busy.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think that's why I always have the mentality of like, no, you can always do more. Like I'm a person, like, I don't take excuses from anybody. Like, or I know an excuse when I see it. I'm like, that's an excuse. You definitely have time for that. Like, or you can make time always, like, and stuff. So I just have like a very like, you can make anything happen mindset. So like when people limit themselves, I'm just very like, okay. Like, or I try to, for the most part, I try to help out. But if I know it's not reading and not coming to where they actually want to take it, or like whatever is offered, in regards to, I don't want to say advice, because everyone can take whatever advice they want, but I don't know, I guess more so like I don't really put up with like excuses or complaining or like any of that, because like I didn't have the opportunity to do that growing up. I couldn't complain, I couldn't take excuses. If I wanted to make it happen, I had to make it happen. And that was with anything in life. Like, yeah.
Are you saying with students of yours?
Huh?
Are you saying with like students of yours?
No, just like friends more so. Like, even well, I think I would say acquaintances now, because it's like I feel like everyone in my circle currently is like, I feel like I've had the best circle I've ever had, like, in my entire life. like currently right now. Like,
That's
it's like
awesome.
I feel like everyone in my circle is like going, like they're
Yep.
doing things, they're like they're making things happen, and it's like those are the people I want around me, because it's like what everyone says, it's the people you said, the top 5 people you surround yourself with every day is like who you are. And it's like you really,
they
that
become
is
you.
so true.
Or you become kind of them.
Yeah, and it's so true. So it's like making sure you surround yourself with people that you want to, like, that you want to be. Like I feel like, and I've heard this before from somebody else, but they had said, I remember hearing this, but they had said about their friend circle, they were like, anyone you see surrounding me is always going to be better than me at something. And I was like,
damn. That's a really cool, I don't even know, that's fucking powerful.
yeah. And I was like, wow. Because then that really, I remember at the time, that really made me reevaluate my entire circle. And I'm like, are these people elevating me to their level, or am I the person that they have to elevate to?
Yeah.
Because I always want to be the person. I don't want to be somewhere and be the best. Like, yeah, in a way I do, but like you always like are like, I want to be the best, of course, but also
you
like
want to be the best, but to push yourself, you gotta.
I want to be my best.
Yeah.
So, but to be my best and to keep elevating, I feel like I have to be, that determines on who I'm surrounded by on a daily, like, or who I choose to surround myself by. Because at the end of the day, everything's a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like who you give your, which I've been learning as I've been growing up, is who you give your energy and time to is extremely important. And that's what's going to make or break you at the end of the day.
Yeah. I believe that 100% too. It's really interesting too, because this is, again, only the 3rd episode, but obviously you already, and Nico and Antoine, who I did before you. It's really interesting to see and hear how you guys think, because I think the same way, and I feel like the people I want to have on the show are people who I'm interested in. Like, I think what they're doing is really cool, like I've said before. So anyone who's listening, if they've listened to the other ones, will have heard this already, but like, I'm chasing after something that is unsure, like a career, acting, dance, or whatever. It's going to be what you make it. And so I've come to really admire and respect anybody who I see is actually really going after it.
Yeah.
And just kind of saying, fuck it. And
yeah.
I'm going to do this.
Literally,
or at least give it my best shot. Yeah, literally. Like, because we're all sacrificing, at least I feel like, because I went to school for finance, like, I literally feel like at this point I've sacrificed a completely different life of my own to do this life. And so I want to go after it so hard, because I feel like I'm sacrificing like a lot of things. Other than that too, everyone I know doesn't live here. So I guess what I'm getting at is just that, yeah, I really admire anybody who's going after something, and those are the type of people that I would love to talk to.
Absolutely.
And kind of exactly what you just said, like, they're going to be better at me, or better than me at some things, and I think I could learn from them.
Definitely.
Hopefully I can teach them something, and I just love talking and having conversations kind of just based around that idea. And they energize me. Like right now, like I'm really fucking energized because I'm just like, fuck yeah.
I feel like the only way you're losing is if you're not trying.
Yeah.
Because even like, if you're trying, at least, even if you fail, you can fail 9 times, but you better get up 10.
Yeah, because you learn.
Like, because it's like, if you don't, it's the get up part. Like, and it's how many times you're going to just keep going and keep getting up and keep not giving up. Because it's like, that's one gonna give you to your purpose, yes, but then also just it really tells a lot about your character and just your resilience at the end of the day. So, and one of the things I always affirmate every single day is I am resilient. So in anything I do, it's like I might fail, I might learn a lot of things, but at least I'm always gonna be better.
Yeah, and you got to be able to handle, maybe, I don't know if you even say the embarrassment, but of failing, just the emotions of failing, knowing that it's possible, and just being okay with it, and saying, fuck it, okay, whatever. That moment went how it went. I learned this and this from it.
Yeah.
So next time I'm going to probably change something like this and that. But you learn every fucking time. You're good.
I think it's...
Is it the man? Is it the guy?
He said, what's the address, love? Y'all might meet him if y'all don't already know him.
Yeah, put it in. Yeah, we haven't said his name, but he's about to come on.
We haven't said his name or anything, but y'all probably know him. If you know Colton, you probably know him.
Yeah, I've posted some of his stuff. I want to listen to, because I just heard a snippet.
We all met on the same project, actually. I didn't know him prior to the project.
In the beginning?
I met him that day.
Really? And he came the first day. I remember that.
Yeah, I met him literally that day. And yeah, it just went from there.
Yeah, that, for me.
You want to know a funny story?
Yeah, tell me a funny story.
I guess now being like where we are.
Yeah.
So the very second day, because we clicked the very first day, and then the very second day, we just got to talking like while everything was happening and stuff. And just like with conversating, I was like, I don't know why I like really connected with this person, like in my head. And I literally said that day, I was like, you're one of two things. And he was like, what? And I was like, might sound crazy. I was like, okay, one, you're either like literally like my best friend, like I can feel it. And he was like, I feel it. And then I was like, or he was like, what? And I was like, ah. And I was like, or you're my soulmate. And he was like, what? And I was like, literally said it that day, the second day, right? That's bold. First of all, I would never do that stuff.
But you felt it.
But I felt it. And I was like, and it's so crazy because now when we talk about it, and I'm like, remember I said this? He's like, yeah. He's like, I may be both though. He's like, I can see it as both. And I was like, he's like, well, not see it. He's like, I think I'm both. And I'm like, yeah, me too.
Yeah, you'd probably want both.
So, because I think like my dad, one thing my dad's always said is like, whoever you're with should be like your best friend. And I was like, I get it now. At the time, I was like, what?
Yeah, what are you talking about, Dad?
Yeah, what are you talking about, Dad?
I'm friends with girls.
Yeah. Well, no, I grew up with friends with guys. That was me growing up. Like,
you were mean?
Huh?
You say you were mean?
No, not mean. Oh, I was not mean.
Oh, they said
girls
I was
were
mean
to me.
Yeah.
But I said I grew up growing up with guys. So that was me. Yeah, that was me. I think.
You mean guys is like your main friends?
Yeah. So yes, as main friends, but also as like I was like, all my cousins were like dudes. My brothers, I had 2 brothers, and I had my dad. I was a daddy's girl to the fullest. So it was like I always gravitated toward male energy for the most part. And I remember growing up, that was like, and I realize now being older that a lot of girls actually went through this more than I thought, because I thought I was like a loner in this. But then I realized my other cousin, who also was a girl, she also went through it, because she said that how she gravitated more towards guys and always would get along with the boys, and like the girls would always feel a type of way towards that. And like, because growing up, especially like in high school, like girls were not a fan of me. Like even like being out here in LA, like I've noticed that, like, but now I don't really care. Now I feel like I've switched my mentality, because I used to tell myself, and which was a limiting belief, which I have a whole other thing about that.
We'll get into that.
Yeah. Which was a limiting belief for me, but I used to limit my beliefs and be like, oh, I only get along with guys, which would like kind of resist kind of girls. Like I didn't really even like have an interest in like getting along with girls or getting to like know girls.
You just felt like you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, I guess from past experiences, because like in high school, I felt like I guess more so being on like the dance team and drill team, like yes, did I love it for dance? Yes, but did I love it for what it was, as far as like it was basically like a sorority type, like in high school, and I hated it. And it was like I just remember being like put up in the front as like a sophomore, and like all the seniors would hate me, or like talk shit about me and like all this stuff. But like, so I always had to grow up building a strong backbone, even like not even just in there, but even at my dance studio when I was like in middle school. Like I would always be dancing with the older girls, and like I always growing up always had shit talked on me like from girls and stuff growing up. So I just was like not a fan of girls because of that. And I felt like that like kind of just, I don't know, I just felt like that was kind of like a thing. And even like, I guess even I think I broke that mentality of like thinking that was like all that like girls did or whatever literally like last year.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I just kind of got over it. I was like, because then I trying to just believe that like as far as when it came to like girls, not even girls, I just wanted to connect to humans on a human level. So I wouldn't even, I guess, put it in a category of like girls are this way, girls are just based off of my own experiences that I grew up with girls in and stuff. So like now I feel like, and a plus side, I live with all girls now.
How many?
So I think 3.
3.
So I think that really, really helped me because it just like, cause I know myself. I'm very easy to get along with. I'm very just like go with the flow. Da. But no, I am. But yeah, but I just felt like it really helped with, I guess, rooming with girls and stuff. Cause even like my past 3 living situations have been with guys. Like, so it's like literally there's just a whole brand new like, okay, now you're gonna room with girls.
Damn.
I'm like, like,
damn.
but I actually loved it because it made me just like be more open to girls too, because it's like,
do you feel like you were closed off to just kind of female friendships?
Yeah,
I get that. I feel like, obviously I don't know this for sure, but I would imagine that you don't have a sister.
I actually do.
You
but
do?
The thing is, I didn't grow up with her. She was my half sister.
Oh, okay. Different houses, or is she just a big age difference?
There's a whole thing. So growing up, so she was in my life until maybe about kindergarten, first grade.
Okay, so
and
you were
then,
young.
Because it was my dad's daughter.
Okay.
But and then her mom, her mom just completely cut off communication.
Okay.
And then I didn't connect back with her until 2016.
Oh wow.
So like when I'm like 21, like,
yeah,
so it literally, she wasn't there for like my life.
Yeah.
But like now she's back in my life, which I'm very thankful for. And it's like it's cool because it's like, it's crazy because it happened after my grandmother's death, which is my dad's mom. And that was if there was one wish my dad ever wanted, was to just see his daughter again, which is Natalie, my half sister. So anyway, so it's crazy how, I guess in a weird way, how that sacrifice maybe had to happen for that to happen, like in a God's calling type of way. So yeah, but like, now she's definitely
passing to get you guys connected.
And so what had happened was, so my grandma had passed and all this stuff, and then out of nowhere it was like, then my half sister, she had reached out to my cousin, they were like best friend cousins. She had reached out to my cousin, and then like from there, I guess she was like, oh, I like had a dream about my dad, and I just like, I don't know, she was asking all these questions like, how's the family, how's da. And like that was like a huge thing to the family, because the thing is, we've been trying to reach out to her for like years, like over 10 plus years. So it was like the fact that even happened was like, what? And I think it was more so like my dad said, he was like, I think Grammy sent her. Like, I called her my Grammy.
I see what you're saying.
I think Grammy sent her to reach out.
I get what you're saying now.
Yeah. And it was like, I remember first the call of my dad calling me to say Grammy passed away, and I was crying, like, because my grandmother, she was the type of grandmother that she was the reason that the whole family was always brought together. Yeah. Like, she was like the core of the family. And then the other, and like after that, and then months later it happened again, and my dad calls me crying again. And I'm like, what happened again, you know? Because then prior to my grandma passing, like maybe like I think like 2 months before that, my cousin who's like he's like my big brother cousin,
Mm-hmm.
and he's also my god brother, but he had committed suicide.
Mm.
And that was the day after Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's
I'm
like,
sorry. These are tough stories.
this was all in 2016. It was a lot.
That was a rough year.
2016 was a very rough year. Or no, that happened. The suicide happened in 2015. But even prior to more. So like.
Oh, what else? What else?
So my cousin Patrick.
Just so you know, you don't have to talk about anything you don't want to talk
it's okay.
about.
I'm already talking. My cousin Patrick had committed the suicide the day after Christmas, but maybe a month prior to then, it was in November, a month prior to then, my best friend growing up had passed away.
My God.
So it was like having already the burden of my best friend passing away, and then like a month after, then like getting told how like my cousin had passed away literally the day after Christmas due to suicide. And then like 2 months, and then that had happened in December, and then my grandma passed early March.
Wow.
And my grandma's the core of the family.
Yeah.
Like literally the core of my family. So, and then getting told that my Grammy passed away was like just boom, boom, boom. And
was that all in 6 months?
What? That was all like, what's that? November, December, and then January and February had passed, and then that's all within
5 months.
Yeah.
How old were you?
That happened in what, 2016? What is it?
2020
now?
The worst year.
I was 20.
Wow.
I was 19/20.
And you were out here? Right?
Yeah, I was 19. I was 19 at the time, actually.
Wow. And that must be even harder because you were out here, so you're separated from all them.
Yeah. But also I think what at the time, and part of me wishes I would have, I don't know, because I feel like I'm very, I think being out here makes me very work oriented.
Oh, yeah.
So,
100%.
and being in the school I was at, it was like, I never went home for Thanksgiving because you had like literally 2 days off, and then it was like, okay, rehearsing again.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Christmas, if I went home, it was like for like a week or two, and then I came back. So I really never went home going to school. But what was I talking about?
Before all
what
this?
did you ask for really quick?
I was just saying it must have been hard, all those tragedies happening as you were living out here.
Oh yeah. So I guess what I trained my mind to just basically be like, I just remember when my grandma passed, I was like, okay, this is me training for like if I'm on a professional job and I'm like on tour or something, like,
yeah.
And if something like this happens, I basically have to just like keep going.
Yeah.
So I looked at it that way. I was like, I just have to keep going because like I can't stop.
Yeah.
And like, but I also wish in that time somebody told me it's okay to stop,
mm-hmm.
because I think I dealt a lot with it emotionally, because I growing up like with just everything that happened in my life, I guess more so with like my parents divorce was like, I didn't realize how huge it was on me until like I grew older. But I think with all that, I learned how to really suppress my feelings. But now being
older. When you were a kid, you're saying?
When I was a kid,
yeah.
as well as like being older. But now being older, I'm like, that's not the healthiest thing, Sherri. Like now, I've definitely have learned a lot to just communicate kind of right then and there, just based off of how I feel. Because if I communicate right then and there, or at least within like a day or by the end of the night or something, I feel a lot better knowing that I communicated that, or communicated how I feel, as opposed to like not and like holding it in. Because like holding it in for me does a lot more damage than not saying anything or then I guess saying something.
Than not saying something?
Yeah. So if I don't say something, then it creates a lot more damage, and it builds up rather than like saying something right then and there. And I think at the end of the day, it's fear. Like I feel like a lot of people don't say things just based off of how something may turn out, and then think of but what if instead of doing.
100%.
And that goes with everything.
Yeah.
Like, not just on, like, feelings, but just, like, so many people fear something that hasn't even happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to just do it and you don't even know how that, like, the outcome may be exactly what you want. But, again, you never know until you try.
No, I struggle with that myself at times, too.
Yeah.
So I get that 100%. I try not to. I think I've recognized that as I've gotten older as well, to try not to do that. But it's still hard at times. Or you
Oh, he said he's here.
He's here? Should we go grab him? Or do you want to grab him?
Yeah, we're going to go grab him, you guys.
The man of the hour.
The man of the hour.
We got the man.
We got the man of the hour.
The man of the hour is here.
The secret mystery man we were talking about.
Oh, my God. How you guys doing?
We're doing great, man.
Doing good, yeah?
Introduce your boyfriend, Sherri.
Yeah.
Did I just drop the BF?
Oh, my God.
I mean, that's him. I don't know about... I mean, that's on you.
Listen, whoa, hold on. Listen. So he dropped it, but the thing is, I haven't officially asked her yet.
She was telling me. I know
haven't
how it goes.
officially asked her yet. But, I mean, you can say that because, I mean, it's leading towards...
I feel that.
So, yeah. So, yeah, now you got to introduce me. I need a grand one, too. Like a grand one. Like...
This is Paris. He also goes by Paris B.
Paris B.
Paris B official.
No, let him do the.
Oh yeah, you
do the Paris B.
Yeah, it's Paris B.
Yeah.
You can follow me on Instagram at ParisBofficial_. Thank you.
That.
Bro, I love that. I don't know. I love that when I was listening to it. What was it, a mixtape or your first album that came out? Like right after we first met?
Oh, my first album.
Yeah.
It dropped. Let me.
I know.
It dropped August 5th.
August 5th.
Yeah, it was my first album. Did really good. Did really, really, really good.
It's dope.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
What's the title of it again, though?
555.
555. Check it out. All platforms, right?
All platforms.
All platforms.
All platforms. Except SoundCloud. I don't think it's on SoundCloud, but
His dirty stuff is on
my dirty music is on SoundCloud.
From the past?
Yeah. It's like it's just very just in the bed type of music, like yeah. So it's
still
like,
Paris B?
Yeah, still Paris B.
I'm gonna look it up.
I think on there it's official Paris B. My SoundCloud is official Paris B.
Official Paris B.
But yeah, so yeah, my dirty music's on there, but everything else is on Apple Music, Spotify, whatever your preference. Yeah.
Bro, this is dope. This is fucking dope. I'm so happy you're here and happy you came up.
I'm glad you guys invited me.
I wish I had the third mic set up, but we'll make this work.
Yeah.
I don't mind at all. So what was Paris doing before this?
I was at the alleys and I was actually searching for this one's Christmas present.
Really?
But I was unsuccessful.
Tell me what the alleys is again. She was talking about that.
Oh, the Santy Alleys is like a big like strip mall.
Okay.
Like basically you can find like wholesale things there. Like say if you like did clothes or anything, you can just find everything there.
I don't think I've been there yet.
Yeah. It's
I know we go over there all the time as like whenever I'm doing styling and looking for stylist stuff. So yeah,
and
that's like a huge place to look for, like as far as like for styling anything really.
And that's where we were shooting the first day of In the Beginning. Over that way. Yeah.
Like over there.
Okay. So I've seen that over, because like I said, I drive through there. There's a fuck ton of shops over there. And that's where Marcus, when we were on set, literally just left for 30 minutes.
He went over to Santee Alley?
Yeah. Because
that makes so much
the
sense.
suit, I don't know where he went, but he's just like, oh, I know a spot. Because the suit that they had for me, Peace didn't like. So then I was not really wearing a suit, but I was supposed to be. So like in the middle of shooting, he's like, I'm gonna go get something real quick. And then he got it, and we shot with it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, in the middle of the day. I'd already shot like a bunch of scenes, so that we just put it on later.
That's wild.
But he literally just left for like 20 minutes, came back with a.
He was
very,
like,
actually, I think I still have it. He gave it to me. Yeah.
That's fire.
Because it looked really nice, but it was cheap.
Because everyone got to keep like little pieces.
Yeah.
I remember that.
You kept your pants. What were they?
They were just white pants.
They were just white pants. Bro, the outfits on that set were dope.
Facts.
I liked that whole fucking set.
I I was the one that introduced. Well, the only reason, because how y'all got Marcus was because of Scully, who was the actual like designer for all the clothing, and
Was she just not there?
she wasn't there, so Marcus is her
girl.
assistant.
Okay.
But Peace met all of them through me. Yeah.
How'd you meet Peace?
So I met Peace through my best friend Tia.
Okay.
So who I met. So I know Tia based off of when we used to work at Beauty and Essex together, and then I met her roommate Jeremiah, who is friends with Peace, and then that's how I met Peace and Solomon, and then from Peace I met basically everybody else. But Peace actually went to my one of my shows. And then that's where he met Scully, because he was like, oh, who like made y'all's outfits? And I was like, oh, Scully. And then got her contact and everything. And then used her for in the beginning. And that's how y'all had dope ass outfits.
I remember going to Marcus's house, or his apartment. That was the first time I met him.
Same.
Right when you walked in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, dude.
Well, you're in my house now.
Yeah.
Like, hey, okay.
Yeah, and I had all my shit ready. I think he was really stressed. He had a lot. I'm sure you guys saw when he went. He had a lot going on. Yeah. He was the whole time. That's why everyone worked their ass off. But I feel like him and Tony on that set.
Honestly, now because he was basically the stylist.
Yeah.
So now basically doing styling now, like months later, I completely get it. Like I'm like, a stylist does way more than people think.
Yeah, because
way more.
It's like say for me, I go to him whatever.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as we're done, obviously I'm going to do other things too. But like, so they're just kind of out of sight, out of mind. But they're doing that with every single person.
Every single person. I was like, not even just the main actors, the extra actors, the back, like
everybody. Yeah, and he'd come in and check outfit, whatever, every scene. If
and make
right.
sure it looks good on camera, because that's at the end of the day, it's your name. So you're like watching on camera and you're like, oh my gosh, like this part can't be folded, or this part, like literally the like most minute things. You're like, I have to look out for it.
No, I felt like he killed that. I walked away from that thinking, okay, if I ever produced something, I would definitely call him.
Yeah.
To be on it, because I feel like he was busting ass the whole time, especially when we went to that one location, and then the cops came and kicked us out. Were you in that day? Was that was the third? How many days was shoot? 3 days?
Did you go to San Diego for that one?
No, the day before San Diego.
Okay, I was there.
Where we were in the park in the morning, and then we left the park.
I was there.
Yeah, and then we went to the place by the golf course, and then we literally
was the when I knocked on the window.
And you lifted up my hat.
And I lifted up your hat, and I was like, what's good with you?
that was the beginning?
That was the beginning?
In the beginning?
That was in the beginning.
In the beginning, it was the beginning.
Yeah. How we actually met, because I was the I was the last one on set. I was the last one on set, and then I was in there looking all good and stuff, and she came up to me. She was all like, hey, my name's Sherri Gonzalez. And I was just all like...
I was talking quietly, first of all, because I had
she said it like that, but in a little... Hi, my name's Sherri Gonzalez. And I was all like, hey, how you doing? And then she did say that. And then she was all like, yeah, if you need anything, just let me know. And then and I was like, all right, for sure. So at the end of the set, when we were moving everything and all that, I was like, let me see what she about. So I went and asked her. I was like, hey, you need any help, moving anything or whatever like that? And she was like, oh yeah, you can move this plant over there. I was like, okay, for sure, I got you. And then I guess she had talked to one of her friends in the car. She was like, oh my God, that Paris dude is so fine. And I was just all like,
did not say that.
Whoa.
You know what? I feel like I'm sorry to cut you off, but I feel like it might have been you. I'm not for sure. But I feel like after we moved locations, so, I think it was you. Were you telling Sam? Was that true? Were you telling Sam what he just said?
What? You was telling Sam?
I don't remember telling Sam that.
Maybe it was someone else then. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I thought I just remember seeing a girl tell Sam after we moved. I just overheard, don't tell anybody what I said. And that was just coming to my head.
I don't think
it might not have been you.
But I remember Sam being like, she was like, oh, do y'all follow each other on Instagram? And then we were like, oh, let me check. Because the thing is, when we met each other, I was like, I know you from somewhere. Like we both were like, I know you. Like, yeah, I recognize you from somewhere. And she was like, oh, maybe I'll follow each other on Instagram. And so then we checked and we looked on Insta and I was like, no, like we didn't follow each other. But then he was like, but I've seen you before because he went down my profile. And I was like, what? And then Sam was like, well, now y'all can follow each other. She was like, I connected y'all. You're welcome. Or something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah. And
Basically.
then
Shout out to Sam.
the next shout out to Sam.
Shout out to Sam.
And then the next day, that's when we got kicked out by the cops, and we had small little conversations in and there, blase. But then after that, like, was it like a week or a couple of days or something like that?
I think a week.
It was like a week or two, something like that. I had called her. No. First, she blew up my Instagram. Let's not forget.
You blew up my Instagram first.
Chill. She blew up my Instagram.
You blew up mine first.
No, you definitely blew up mine first.
You definitely blew up mine first.
Wow, you gonna lie right on camera
I'm not lying.
on a podcast like that in front of the world? Gee.
Uh-oh.
But anyway, before she rudely interrupted, this what happened. And so she blew up my whole Instagram, and I'm like, damn, she blew up my Instagram. So I was like, for sure, blew it right back.
Comment.
And then one day I called her, and then what she tells me, she wasn't gonna answer the phone. It was like 10 o'clock. I called her, and she answers the phone. She got a retainer in, all that. She got the glasses on.
Do you actually?
And she
I
was.
took out my retainer actually.
She took it out real quick.
Yeah.
And then we're talking, and then we end up talking for like 3 hours that night. And then
Damn, that's like middle school shit.
yeah, like middle school stuff. And then she was all like, "Yeah." No, and then anyway, she was messing with me, and then boom, it happened like that. And then we started messing with each other, and then boom.
Wait, were you two hanging out at the first cast party?
Nope.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, not during the cast party. It was just like you had came over once before then.
Oh yeah, no, didn't I drop you up?
But you came over once. Like we like hung out like one time before the cast party, but it was literally just like a hangout. Like nothing had happened. We literally just were like. That did not happen at all. First of all. Anyways.
I don't know if the mic picked it up, so
I hope not.
I'm gonna be listening to this later, just like.
But anyway, so we
just by myself, just like.
Did she really?
Did she do that?
we were just hanging out or whatever the first time, and then it was really nice. You were over for like maybe an hour and a half. But we were just like literally hanging, and then the next time was at the cast party, whatever. And he says he wasn't gonna go to the cast party.
I was not about to go.
But then you said you were going basically because of me.
Nah, I went because I wanted to go to the cast party.
You're a liar.
Put my business out.
You're a liar. You literally told me you were like, I wasn't gonna go unless it was for you.
Okay, guys, I'm caught.
I'm caught. She got you, bro.
She got me. I went because originally I wasn't gonna go.
Because of COVID or just because you
just because I
wasn't gonna go?
I wasn't gonna go, but then I was all like, she was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna pull up, yeah." You know how she be talking, and I was all like, "For sure, I'll pull up for you." And so I pulled up, and then having a good time. She was doing her own thing, I was doing mine, and then I was about to leave, and then I was like, "Yo, you need a ride home?" And then she was like, "I don't know, but yeah, I'll go." And then.
I don't talk like this.
Has he been doing these impersonations?
All he does is impersonations of me. And I'm like, is that how you hear me in your head? And he's like, yep.
He's like, yep.
Yeah, so then took her home, and then she fell asleep in the car. I'm outside her house, and she's just knocked. And I'm like, yo.
Yo.
Oh my God.
I'm like, yo. Like, she was knocked out for at least, like, 45 minutes.
Really?
You was knocked.
You were just chilling in the car with her sleeping in front of her house?
Yeah, I was like, yo, what do I do? Because I'm not about to carry this girl in the house. I was just
her roommates don't know you.
Yeah, so I'm just like.
Who is this guy?
Okay, I'm going to let her. Exactly. So I was like, I'm going to let her sleep it off. And then 45 minutes woke up, and she's like, looking lost, and I'm like, yo, you're home. And she was like, oh. And then, yeah.
You remember the story, Sherry?
What happened? What?
Exactly what happened.
What happened?
Huh?
What happened?
We like kissed in the car.
What?
Oh my
What?
God.
We did?
Yeah.
We kissed in the car.
It was our first kiss, y'all.
What?
Damn, these are some more
After the cast
come up
party.
exclusives.
After the cast
We're
party.
getting the deets on the Sherry Paris.
It happened after the cast party.
Oh my God.
Kissed? Okay, we kissed. But just to let y'all know, I went like 20. She went 80. Just
Mm.
saying. She was all in my.
She woke up.
Oh my
She
god.
woke up. And she was like,
She woke up. She's like,
"I'm ready for you, baby."
Ew, that's not what happened. That's not what happened at all, first of all.
What happened?
Okay, I hope y'all know he over exaggerates everything.
it is funny. It
Every
is funny.
everything. You over exaggerate everything.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's told this story 15 different times.
In real life, how did I know?
This isn't the first. Damn, I thought we were exclusive.
Well, damn, you
Without-
just let the cat out. You just telling all the business.
Well, not like that, but like he's told it he's told Brandy, my roommate.
Mm.
He's told
So you met
this-
the roommates now.
Mm-hmm.
This is serious.
The roommates is.
I've met his sister, his
Mm.
brother,
Whoa.
his nieces.
And my dog. No, you haven't met my dog.
I haven't met your dog yet.
That's the big one.
I know. It's not official time.
Is it just your dog?
Huh?
It's just your dog?
Dog and
It's
mom.
my mom's dog.
Your mom's?
I mean, it's my dog.
Yeah. That's the big one, yeah.
Yeah.
His dog and your mom.
Yeah.
Or your dad, actually. Your daddy's girl, you said.
Yeah, your daddy's girl.
I'm a daddy's girl.
Yeah, you said that. Are you gonna meet her dad?
Huh?
Is he gonna meet your dad in Texas?
I don't know yet. Because my dad lives in San Antonio and we're going to Houston to see my mom.
Okay.
But he is meeting my mom, my grandma, my grandpa, my
It's a big
aunt,
day.
my uncle, my cousins, my best friends, my childhood best friends.
It's a big day.
Yeah.
Sounds like an event.
It's a whole thing.
Bro,
Like,
just
I'm
come
like,
in.
I've never, like, I feel like I've never actually, like, brought somebody to, like, meet my family.
Yeah.
Like, my ex, like, he just kind of came. And,
Yeah, he
like,
just tagged along.
yeah,
And
it
you're like,
wasn't
"No."
like I didn't even expect it. I was just like, oh, Mom, this is happening. Like,
Yeah.
but with him, it's like, it's
You're gonna
like,
push him up to the front. Like you
Like-
talked about. Get up there.
Front row.
Show and tell.
right? Not a show and tell.
So this is Paris.
This is Paris.
First time? Nah, I'm just joking. No, that's a big day.
Yeah.
That's a big event too.
We'll see how it goes.
I'm sure it'll go great.
I think so.
I wouldn't, but you just need to come in singing one of your songs. Just do a show to it.
Give a little. How you doing,
Bro, you
mama?
can come in singing and you can dance background and you can just do a
Ooh.
performance
just do a full performance.
to introduce him.
Exactly. And then at the end, give our little bows, and then you play. This is Paris, y'all, in your Texas voice.
Did you have an accent? You don't really have an accent.
It comes out sometimes.
It comes out.
Definite. She says y'all, and what else she? It just comes out randomly.
I don't know. I guess so. But I think no. Before I came, because I was talking to a few of my friends, and they were like, "Yeah, when we first met you, you definitely had like a deep like."
Yeah, Texas accent.
I guess like I don't notice it when I didn't notice it coming here. But
So you didn't like intentionally try to get rid of it?
It just I think it happened with everyone I was around, and that now it's like everyone that meets me now, they're like, "Are you from the Valley?" They think I'm like a Valley girl. I'm like, no, I'm from motherfucking Houston,
Oh,
Texas,
From Houston, bitch.
I can actually see them saying you're a Valley girl.
and I'm not.
Well,
But anyway, so I'm like, no, I'm from Houston. And then they're like, what? And it's funny now, I guess, being here in Houston, or not in Houston, in LA. And
Yeah.
then whenever I go back home, I hear it in my like brothers,
Oh,
my
yeah.
dad, my mom. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like,
Way
it's
more than you
deep.
noticed
Like,
before.
yeah, I'm like, y'all really have an accent. Like,
Do you feel like I sound Minnesotan accent?
not like crazy, no.
No, I don't think I have a bad. I think some word every once in a while maybe, but yeah, when I go home, yeah, you hear it. it's way more. It's way stronger in some people too. Just like randomly. I don't know why.
Absolutely.
Who it is, or it's probably who they grew up, I guess, around. But
one thing I know with people from Minnesota, they say like bag differently.
bag.
They say the bag or something like
You
that.
say what do you say? Bag.
Or slosh wasted.
What?
Let's get sloshed.
Sloshed.
Never heard that.
Oh damn.
Like fucked up.
Yeah.
Let's get sloshed.
Sloshed.
That's what you think it was Minnesota.
No, because my brother.
let's get fucking sloshed.
Fucking sloshed, bro.
Snow.
No, because my brother, he went to St. John's.
What?
Yeah, my brother went to St. John's.
Bro, that's how I met Antoine.
Yeah.
Who's your brother?
London.
You told me that. London,
Yeah.
Paris.
Yeah.
Siblings. That's
my
fucking
twin
dope.
brother.
But I don't think I ever met him.
Yeah, he went there for football, but then he had before he went out there, like it was like 8 months, but he was like working to play football out there. But he was working on his like injured back that he didn't know. Yeah, he was working on an injured back. So when he went out there, I guess he put on some pads and it was hitting one day, and then like he got hit wrong, and then found out his back was like really hurt.
Oh,
so
really?
then like he didn't play out there, and he was just going for school, and then he came back out here for his daughter. So
Damn,
yeah.
bro. So how long was he there?
I think he was there for like a year.
Just a year?
Yeah.
And he's same age as you? You said
Yeah,
he's
but
your
I'm like
twin?
11 minutes older.
Oh, you got that upper hand.
You feel me? But he looks way older than me though. Like he looks way older than me.
Has he got like a full beard and everything, or what?
Not a full beard. He's just like
Something about him?
just in size.
Yeah.
And just like
He looks older.
he looks.
Does he look
just
older?
looks older.
I get that. Damn. So he fucked up his back,
Yeah.
and he found out from football, or he heard it from football. Tried to come back.
It was already hurt, but
And
he
he
didn't
didn't
know.
know?
It. Like when he was training, it was already hurt.
Damn.
So when he got out there, and then like
That's
I
too
guess he
bad.
got hurt the wrong way, and then he went to a hospital, or the doctors out there. Jesus. He went to a hospital out there, and then yeah, it kind of that's how it happened.
It went down from there.
Yeah. So
Well, damn.
yeah.
Well, why did we bring him up? I was gonna say something. I totally forgot.
Minnesota.
Oh yeah. So what, you learned that sloshed from your brother?
Yeah, he was all like, they say slosh wasted, dog. let's get fucking sloshed.
I don't think I say that, but I can see people saying that for sure. Let's get fucked up. Let's get sloshed.
Let's get slosh wasted.
Makes sense in the winter
Yeah.
because all the roads are all slushy and
Yeah.
sloshy. You know, like A.
Or like A? Yeah.
Some people definitely say A. 'Cause we got Canada to the north of us. Like my grandma has a real thick
Hey.
Norwegian, Minnesotan accent.
Yeah.
But even some of my friends, it'll just be like it's vowels. So it'll be like boat. You guys want to go on the boat?
Yeah.
It'll be something like that.
Get in the boat.
Yeah, in the boat. But then yeah, bag. I've always heard this. How do you say? You say bag?
So I say bag, but my Minnesota friends are like
Bag.
the bag or something like that.
Bag. Yeah, we say bag.
And
But
I'm
there's some
like,
people who say
"What?"
bag. It's one of those things where it's like, oh, if you say bag, like Android, iPhone, almost they think
Like
they're like
the
cooler.
and they. Or not the and they, the and the.
It's like two different words.
You're like, what?
The and the. Yeah, I guess that'd be similar. Is that a area thing? The and the. I feel like
No, like how
the-
some people, you know the word the, like
Yeah.
the.
Yeah,
Some people say the. and
Yeah.
Some people say the.
but do you only say the?
I don't know.
I feel like it's just like specific. The only time I can think of the is like someone saying like the Ohio State. They try to be all prestigious,
You're right.
but the is just like the. It's in a sentence, whatever. I don't know if that's like regional though. I don't know if that's an area.
Yeah, I don't know.
The come up. The come up.
The come up. The come up.
The.
Dang.
Should I do the? When I did a little graphic the other day, I'm gonna put it in the first video. It is like
The come
cursive,
up.
so maybe the needs to
Well,
be fancy.
we're coming up, you guys.
Yeah. This
Maybe-
relationship's coming up.
Hey.
Hey.
LOL.
Dude, I can't believe it. She was talking about you earlier, and didn't say the name once. I didn't know if she wanted to, because I didn't know if you guys had told anybody or anything yet.
Did you want to?
Huh?
Did you want to?
I just didn't say the name. I was like,
But
because he was like, what's been happening? And I was like, well, I feel like spiritually, mentally, emotionally, I'm like very, very happy. He's like, is there a reason? I was like,
That was like right at the beginning. Just
yeah.
Oh, you were right into it.
Literally the very first thing. And I was like, and I was like, well, He's like, you don't have to talk about it. I was like, no, it's okay.
Yeah, you don't get to talk about anything you don't want to.
And I was like, I'm like in a situation.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you pulled up and she said, Paris dropped me off. When I just said, text me when you're coming, if you have trouble parking or anything.
Yeah.
And as soon as she said that, I was like, okay.
Could have been one of her mans.
one of them.
One of them.
What you mean?
He's the one.
The one.
Okay, there you go.
I'm just playing.
No, but I remember at the party, at the cast party, 'cause when everybody was gone, it was literally just us three and I think Wendell talking.
Yeah.
I think
I don't know.
I think Tony too.
Tony was probably there. We were just having a good conversation.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I saw you guys on something together recently, social media wise.
Karma?
Yeah.
Something in my head connected you two. And then she said you dropped her off, and I was like, okay.
It was probably that picture in the same place.
Oh, the pictures we posted. Also, I think my boomerang I posted of us.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but something I saw connected you two in my head. Yeah.
Because we've been very like, I don't want to say don't post or whatever, but just very like.
No, I'm like
I
that.
don't even want to say secretive. It's just more so like, I think because when it comes to industry wise, like I'm in the dance industry, he's in the music industry. So like when it comes to industry wise, in a way, being single sells more. So, and that's just facts. Like, it's like when I feel like in some sorts, like, I guess with our specifics.
In all sorts. It's just easier.
Sorts?
It's just easier to get booked when you look single. Because
even dance wise, like, that's how it is. It's like someone's going to be more bookable dance wise when they're single.
Really?
Like, and it's like crazy. It's like, what? Like, yes and no. I think it just depends, but
on
it's
the
like.
project, probably.
Yeah, it is just like, I think it pertains more so to an energy thing.
I feel
and like
that.
people have this fantasy of like, oh, they're still available or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's
I know
like,
what you mean.
so we've been very like I guess in my past situations, like I wouldn't care. But like with him specifically, and also like just knowing my experience, I'm like, I don't even like, even for me, I'm like, I just kind of want to keep on like the DL.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of like what it's,
well,
I feel like been.
As long as you're both on the, you obviously both get that. Like why you would want it like that.
I mean, I
I feel like now I don't really.
I just really don't care. It's just, I mean, to me, it's just social media. It doesn't really matter. I just felt like if between two people, if they just know the vibes are within each other, I just felt like then it's just like
that's all that matters.
Our thing, yeah, because it's just like but it is easier to get booked being single. Because if you have like your dude or your girl all over your page and this and this and this and this, it's kind of just like for her, men would be probably like, oh, I don't want to ask her to be in this thing because this and this and
They'll
that.
be thinking weird about it or think you might not. I know what you mean. And that's what I mean. I feel like as long as you both clearly understand that, so you get how it is. Because I'm kind of like that myself. I like to keep kind of like what we were talking about earlier, like social media when that guy was presenting to you and talking about it. It's literally like it's like your resume and you're a dancer. So you want it to be geared towards dance. Yeah.
And if you ask like, yo, are you, then boom. But I just feel like it's just like, just social media, like what both of you guys said, it's kind of just like your resume. And what she was telling me, it's your resume. So it's just like, if you're going for a job or anything, they're going to look at your social media regardless. So it's like,
and that's like, again, off the podcast, she was talking earlier about just someone presenting to you. Who was it again that was presenting to you? Who was telling you needed like, say your Instagram for like three specific topics.
Antoine, true. So he was saying, he was like, so your media should be like a network. And like when you have your network on, like if I'm going to your network, what channels am I seeing? What channels am I tuning into? So it's like, okay, like having 3 specific channels. And like he was like, so like for me, it would be like, so my stylist probably would be like, here's my Style by Cher channel. Here's my dance channel with all my dancing. And then here's where I would post like random pictures or whatever. But like in the captions, that's part of the channel of like where I would just like really caption about like self-love, self-empowerment, self-growth, etc. So it like really, it's like an enthusiast on self-love. Yeah. So like those are like my 3 specific channels. So like when you go to my page, that's what you're tuning into.
So those are basically the ideas, that your page is trying to grow around.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. See, that's how I look at it too. I know not everybody looks at that. So as long as you both on the same page, I feel like it's totally fine. And it's also your personal life. Like, do you want your personal life all over social media? Obviously some people do, but not everybody does.
I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I think maybe eventually I'm gonna be like, boom, a random post. Eventually, definitely. But I think it'll be one of those like it's the people closest, because the people closest to us all know.
Yeah.
Everybody already knows that's close to us. Like, so it's not.
That's all that matters.
And exactly. So if I ever post him or ever do anything like that, it'll be kind of like this may be new to y'all, but this is definitely old news.
Mm-hmm.
Like super old news. So yeah. What? What?
He's just smiling.
I was just smiling.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Right. I understand that. I understand both thoughts, perspectives, but yeah, I understand that, and I tend to kind of lean that way as well. I don't have a couple pictures all over my shit either, and like
I don't mind if it's like every so often, but I definitely not just.
I just can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, we can post, but I'm not just gonna be over there love dubbed up like. It gotta be like a real like.
You a photo shoot?
Not like something like fire. Like, I'm not just gonna be. Oh my god, I just can't do that.
Yeah, social media shit. I feel like at some point, like I was telling you, I was really into fitness in the last couple of years. Like last 5 years, that was like my biggest hobby, I guess you would say, because I was working, doing school. In that time, I realized I wanted to come out here to be acting. But while I was at school, fitness and just working out became my sport, because I wasn't playing sports anymore. So I would do that 3, 4, 5 times a week. And I did hold, like I would, honestly, it was almost too important to me thinking back, because I would put that like over schoolwork at times. Like it made me feel good. Yeah, exactly. Like if I didn't go, I felt
crazy,
just not as good, like physically, whatever. But so I was kind of I had ideas of trying to do like fitness influencing and maybe someday having an own apparel line if I could blow up an account based around that. So that really changed my mind of specifically Instagram, instead of being like about my personal life, being more business orientated of like what I'm doing, what I'm kind of trying to grow an audience around. So that's really kind of, I guess, where from my mind I kind of started leaning towards what we were just saying of like, I don't mind putting some personal things on there, but I want to use it for other things, more of like a business opportunity, I guess, and like a long-term growth thing about like those topics like you're talking about.
Definitely.
But
I just feel like your personal life should be your personal life. But if you want to put your personal life on Instagram, I mean, that's by all means. I mean, I ain't gonna hold you, but it's just, for me, it's just some things can go out there, but some things just can't. You know what I mean? Because it's just, I feel like once you put certain things out on like social media or just to the world, like we are energy, so it's just like whatever type of energy gravitates towards it, and then everybody in your business, now everybody got to say so about something. It's just like, it's just too much. Just from my past experience.
Yeah, especially at the beginning too of a relationship, like you don't need to put it out there. Like you're just figuring each other out. You're figuring the whole situation out. Like
I'm still figuring her out. Oh, gee.
I figure you out every day.
So what have you learned so far?
Well, on the real.
We taking a turn here?
Oh snap!
Be real. What's up?
You're very special. That I've definitely, and everyone that knows you from me, everyone says that too. They're like, he's very special. And I'm like, I agree. Yeah. You're very, I think you have one of the biggest hearts, and you have a bigger heart than people see. And I think from what I've personally seen, I feel like you're very there. You put yourself out there more for people than what people, I guess, get back. but in like a good, like, I think it's a plus, but also I also do know how it can hurt you. But I think it's also a beautiful thing, which goes back to coinciding to, I think it goes back to you just having a really big, beautiful heart. So, I mean, that's the main thing. I don't think I've seen any really, I don't think I've seen many flaws, to be honest. He sucks at time. That's the biggest flaw. He sucks at time. And it's funny because Peace was like, well, Sherri, just to let you know, all artists really suck at time. And I was like, yeah, but I think because I take time so seriously, because I'm like, how I spend my time, how I'm managing my time, like, because time is so important to me, and like what I can do with my time, like, is it worth my time, like all this stuff, whatever, because at the end of the day it goes back to, is it worth my energy and stuff. So yeah, so whenever he's late or time just changes up, I'm like, can you just tell me, like, just let me know if you're, be realistic with your time.
It don't always be like it be like this. Listen, if I'm late, then I'm already late. Listen, I'm not about to sit here and drive through traffic and speed through traffic. If I'm late, I'm late. Okay, it must have been a good reason why I was late. God was like, listen, if you would have left 2 minutes earlier, then this would have happened. He talks to me like that. Okay, so sometimes I be late, and it's just, I don't know. Yeah, my timing is just, I be on my own time. I ain't gonna sit here, right? But yeah, but like P said, all artists is bad with time, so you gotta listen to P.
Well, that's where I come in, and that's gonna be a little fix. I mean, it has been a little bit.
You feel me? You over here airing my stuff out like I'm just bad at time. Like I wasn't out here doing it for like, man.
He's gotten better. That's because
improving.
I've gotten onto you.
Hey, he's improving. He's making strides, right?
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Little baby steps.
But overall, I think you're an amazing person. I mean, if you weren't, I wouldn't be giving you my energy or time. So
dude, that's all you mess with is amazing people. Yeah, let them know shit.
Everyone I know is amazing.
Ooh, that's right, shit.
Bro, this is dope. Maybe I should just do a relationship show.
Oh, God.
I'm just sitting here listening.
That'd be hard.
Like, okay, what's going on?
Anton comes back on with Sam.
Oh yeah, there's every relationship would be. They'd have their shit.
Because I did one.
Yeah, but he did Exes Unite.
I was lit up in there though.
Yeah, I need to watch some of their shit. I keep seeing things that I want to watch. So,
oh yeah, watch it. It was like, Sam and Abby.
Yeah.
At first, I didn't want to do it. I'm not gonna lie, just because.
Were you meeting up with your ex for their show?
Yeah.
This was only just like the beginning of us talking.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to do it just because,
I don't blame you.
Just because, one, my business would be out there, and then two, I didn't want nobody knowing all my business, and then three, it's just like I feel that either way people would judge me for what I've done in the past, regardless of regardless what you know about me or how you feel about me. You're gonna take some of that information and put it to my today life, because it's just like, especially if you don't know me, that's what people are gonna know. You're
trying to move on.
So I didn't really want to do it, but I was just like, you know what? I mean, I'm gonna go on here and just be honest, because you can't judge me for things that a lot of people do in the dark. So it's just, mine is just like out in the open. And I didn't really mind. I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to just do it.
Yeah.
So I did it, and I just went on there and just was honest. I mean, shit. I mean,
you got nothing to lose now.
Yeah. I was just
that
like,
relationship's done and fucking gone.
So I just went on there and did what I had to do. And then, yeah, I still haven't even watched the whole thing.
Is it a long one?
It's like, an hour and something. I haven't really watched it because
How long are they doing their episodes?
I don't know. Probably like an hour and some change. But
yeah,
I haven't watched it. I was just like, I watched like 20, 25 minutes of it, and I'm like, all right, like. But she definitely watched it.
Yeah, did you feel a type of way about it?
She did. She can't even say it. She did.
I wouldn't be surprised if you did.
It was interesting because I was watching it being like, whenever I was watching it, I was like, okay, I also have to remember he's grown a lot since I can't judge him for literally his past that I didn't even know him for.
Yeah.
So I was telling myself and affirmating myself to be like, the Paris I know now is a completely different Paris from what I'm watching.
And you're not her.
Exactly.
So that's a completely different
and it's
person.
just a different experience, a different situation, relationship, etc., etc. And yeah, but what I do appreciate about us is that like we're very understanding and patient with each other, and like I feel like he's, out of everyone I've ever been with, he's the one I trust the most. Like, and trust is like so huge, but like I've never ever had like an iffy feeling about what had an iffy feeling about like I've never had the feeling about trust, and like having to, like, I never had a shady feeling about trust or anything. And like when it comes to him, I just like, I just fully trust him, and I just feel like I never have to worry, which I think is probably the best thing ever. So yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. It means a lot.
It
really does. And I bet that if you felt the opposite in the past, again, it probably stands out.
Oh, definitely. I've done some things.
Yeah. Well, I'm even saying like with her past relationships, if she didn't trust them and felt super stressed out about that, whatever, now being with you and feeling like, no, I'm good. Like that feels noticeably a lot better.
I think we're just really honest with each other. Like like super honest, like on everything. Like I've told him things that I've never told people before, and I think vice versa. So
facts.
What do you guys feel about? I know you're a new couple or new about to be couple. I'm not putting any labels on you if you haven't yourself, but the idea of being honest and it's gonna hurt the other person.
I feel it's just who you're with. Because I mean, in the past, like, I feel like we all lie. I mean, we all have little white lies there, like, because we don't want to hurt the other person. You know what I mean? But shit.
Did I put you on the spot?
That's crazy. I mean, because I've done my fair share of lying. Just even with the whole the.
Have you lied to me?
I don't think so. No.
Okay, cool. I was like, let me last real quick.
I don't think so.
But I don't think so either, from what I know.
No, I don't think so.
Nothing major.
Nothing major.
Yeah, nothing worth.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, everyone has little white lies.
Yeah, everybody. Everybody lies.
If you're late, you haven't left yet. Oh yeah, I left 5 minutes ago. Like shit like that. Yeah.
Bad.
Yeah.
That's his biggest lie.
But
I do that.
Yeah.
Everybody does that. Are you on the way? Yeah, I'm gonna be late. Yeah, I left 5 minutes ago.
I left 5 minutes ago. Still be looking for an outfit.
Yeah. Fuck. What am I doing? Where's my keys?
Yeah. But I feel like we all lie. I mean, I feel like it's not a good thing to do. It depends what you lie about too. Yeah. Because I know in like my past situation, I've lied about, like, if I would have just been honest, it would have saved me a whole lot of trouble. Like a whole lot of trouble. But
might have hurt some people, but it would.
Yeah, but it saved me a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah, them and you as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
feel
like
you and them.
That's when like one, I lied just because I felt like if I told her the truth, then she would leave. But I just felt like if I would have told her the truth from the first jump off, then she would have been good. Yeah. And then, lies going to lies and lies. It just builds on itself. It just builds up, and then it's just like, boom. It's just like, yeah.
Talking to an experienced man right there.
Oh yeah.
Bro, that's knowledge.
She trust me. Even my last situation, it solely ended because it was toxic situation itself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Of course, there could have been a lot of things I could have done better. You know what I mean? But I guess I had a whole lot of ego that was just like, and just a lot of things accumulated from everything. So like every time we argue over this,
just all come out.
You know what I mean? So it's just like definitely a big learning experience. And then just like with her, I try to just like not go back to that place that I was like before. Because when she first met me, I was kind of just like, I don't know, low depressed, just with myself and everything. And it was just kind of, I know you want the mic. Here you go. Say what you gotta say. she kept grabbing.
Hey, damn.
But I think also like,
hey, you guys can both come back on and I'll set up both fucking mics. I'll get that shit set up.
I think also one thing, whenever we just started hanging out really and getting to know each other, a big thing So I have this one tattoo.
Yeah.
And it
says Paris. 2020.
No.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But it says, and it's a phrase I came up with, which I kind of came up with in quarantine just based off of my own thought process and what I accumulated in the thought, like my own mental that I went through and stuff. But so my tattoo, it says, to be honest is to be free. So, and then that,
I like that.
Yeah. And I feel like from there, that kind of like, because we kind of met and I was talking about that. And then that I feel like has been a very core thing with us and stuff. Because at the end of the day, I feel like if you just tell your honest truth and you're just honest to begin with, like the other person can feel how they want to feel. But as far as your own self, like if you tell your honest truth, like that's all at the end of the day someone does ultimately ask for. Like even if it's not what they want to hear, but at the end of the day, you're going to respect me more if I tell you the truth rather as opposed to lying.
Yeah.
So even if it's like, yes, I did do this, and this, but I'm telling you the truth, I'm like, at the end of the day, even though that was maybe fucked up or like yada yada, like I respect you so much more. Like I respect you for at least telling me the truth and being honest about it, because like a lot of the times honesty isn't the easiest thing. So, and it can be the hardest thing, but at least as long as you're honest about it, like that's what matters.
Yeah.
So I think we kind of just built it right off the bat, like off of that, and like
good.
Just like, because at the end of the day, like the more honest you are, the more free you feel, because you're like, I have nothing to hide. Like I'm showing you everything, I'm telling you everything, and it's like at the end of the day, how you feel is how you feel, even if it's like not the best, but at least like with how you feel, like we're able to either build from that or like we know where to go from that, as far as like we get to work with the truth that reveals itself.
That's a great, literally what you just said there. Yeah, you get to work with the truth
that reveals itself.
Even if it's not what you want, at least okay.
Exactly.
This is what I should deal with moving forward. Paris, are you from LA?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you got family out here and everything?
Yeah. But I mean, me and my family's not really close. It's kind of just like my sister, my mom's and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, my family's not really close like that.
I feel that. Because being out here, I'm not from here. My girlfriend isn't either. We're both from Minnesota. You're on your own a lot. So I don't know if you guys feel like this since you are from here and you've been here a while. So I'm sure you got, like you said, like a really good core group of people around you. But if you're on your own like that a lot, I just feel like you encounter, and I've talked to other people in relationships as well who've said this thing and kind of pointed it out to me, is like you just figure out faster what's issues, what's not issues. Is this person like issues of a relationship back home in a small town? It would just be different. It'd probably take longer to figure out.
Yeah.
Out here, you kind of have to.
It just hit you in the face.
Yeah. You're both trying to advance careers. Like, you got to figure out if you guys align or not.
Exactly. And I just feel like that is like, it's a big thing. That's a really big thing.
I think the fact that we both come from creative backgrounds and just like, he's music, but I'm dance, but at the end of the day, like it coincides, like and correlates with each other. I think it helps us understand each other and like what we have to do to make our career happen. Because even though, yes, I want to be with them and like, or about to be whatever, but like, but the thing is, at the end of the day,
that's how she ends the thought.
But at the end of the day, I understand though too, I'm my own individual, he's his own individual, and I want it to be that way. Like I don't want it to be like, oh, like Cher and Paris thing or whatever. Like I want it to be like, oh shit, that's Sherri, oh shit, that's Paris.
Two strong individuals
they're together too. Like what the fuck? Like that's a whole ass power couple. Like hell yeah. Like because it's like I know what I came out here to do, and I know what he has as his own individual mission and career, and like I want him to succeed that in every way, and like my job is to just make sure that like I'm supporting him in that way, and like vice versa. I feel like he's doing the same thing. So I feel like even when we're with each other, because we do spend a lot of time with each other, we're constantly productive, and that's what like I really admire, because it's like we're constantly like bouncing back ideas, like ooh, if this happens, and like kind of, because even like ultimately like I want to be a creative director, so like we bounce back like creative thoughts on like different visionaries and like regards to like his music videos, or even like to like my like styling. I'm like, ooh, what if I have like a whole style by Cher shop, like and all this stuff, and like we're constantly building each other up to like just build each other, like, and making, I feel like what's really dope is like we push each other to make the action to close the gap between the dream and the reality, and basically make it happen.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. And I feel like
that makes you happy for both of you guys. That's fucking dope.
Yeah, because either way, I just want her to succeed. Even like I've told her, even if like we didn't work out or we whatever the case may be, like I would want you to succeed, and I would never tell you to choose me over your career. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just like, yo, if that's what you gotta do, hey, by all means, you gotta go do it, even if it's with me or without me or with somebody else. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of, And
I think that's good because it just comes from an understanding, though, like you both understand how each other feels about what you're trying to pursue. Yeah. And how much you want it and the passion for it. So that's just a great thing.
Yeah. And I think too, like, I remember there was one night and I was like, what do you want to do in the next 5 years? And he was like, World tour. I want to have, it was kind of basic, right? What he was listing, but he was like, but then music wise, like, I mean, of course I'd want music in the picture, And I'm over here like, bruh, of like the way he was talking, I was like, what? Like music, first of all, I know it means way more than what you're saying to me, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. So, and then I was like, can I stop you? And then he was like, yeah. And I was like, I need you to tell me what you want to do in 5 years without limiting yourself. I was like, so let's say in 5 years, you're like, I want to win a Grammy. In 5 years, like that's what I need you to tell me, as opposed to like, maybe I'll have music and like all this stuff. Like that's what you need to tell me, because you need to think from a point of view that's not limiting, and like to where it can go that way. And I feel like I remember that night specifically, and I feel like that night like just really, I don't know, I feel like that night switched a lot of things, like, and just like from what I remember, I just like remember that night, and then you just basically from there being like, I can fucking do this. Like it was just a different mentality shift I felt.
It was definitely go mode after that.
Because I was like, you can't think from a limiting belief. Like I was like, if I was like you being like, oh, like I feel like he was quote unquote realistically thinking, as opposed to being like, if these realistic thinkings weren't even a thing and you weren't limiting your belief, what would you actually be like? I want to do this in 5 years. I was like, think from that perspective, because you can do that in 5 years. Like if you limit your belief, then that's what's going to happen. I was like, but if you're like for me, I'm like, okay, styling in 5 years, I'm definitely going to be styling for like all of these music videos for like different icons, celebrities, all this stuff for fucking sure, no doubt in my mind. But on top of that, I'm also going to be creative directing and choreographing too, all at the same time. So like there's this one woman, amazing woman in the business, her name's Othan, literally creative director, choreographer, as well as a stylist. I literally am like,
that's me in 5 years. Yeah.
But on top of Sherri, because I also like want to do my own things and pursue my own things as well. So it's like I don't ever want to limit myself, because like what I've experienced in my own life, like I've exceeded the possibilities I've even like set for myself. Like this whole thing of like, even like what I was saying with the ACL, and like how my first job I booked was J-Lo after my ACL tear. I would have never thought in a million years, like God was like, hey, your first job ever is going to be J-Lo, like after your ACL tear. What? But that, like, if I would have limited my belief and been like, oh, that's not going to happen, instead of just expanding and allowing things to happen, then I feel like that the universe would have never brought that.
Yeah.
But I feel like...
And you probably maybe wouldn't have worked as hard either to get back.
Yeah, exactly. That too. Because I definitely know I worked definitely hard, but I feel like what I love about myself is I feel like anyone that's around me or that's going to be around me or surrounds me in my circle, I'm going to make them believe in themselves 10 times more than they already do.
Yeah.
That I do know about myself. And I'm going to know and be like, okay, first of all, take out all the limiting beliefs. Like you're saying, I can't do this because of money. I can't do that. Fuck all of that. What do you want to do? and make that happen. Like, it's like, you're gonna do like whatever you really, really want, you're always gonna make it happen. And I think I grew up knowing that, because I always made things happen. Like, even if I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna make it happen, but I'm gonna make it happen, I always made it happen. So it's like, it's going to happen, and you, as long as you say it constantly and you're working and you're meeting halfway with like the universe as well as your hard work, it's gonna happen. So
I love that. No, I agree with that 100%. I mean, some of these topics kind of keep coming up, even these first 3 episodes of, that's kind of what I was relating it back to, is that even just you 3, the first 3 people I've talked to, the similarities in how you all think, and it's similar to how I think as well. Approach is a little different one way or the other, but like manifestation or prayer or whatever, that's kind of how I go after my shit. Is like, okay, you can call it manifestation, what a manifestation, I guess I'd probably say that's what it is, but like, I just believe it's possible. And then just, okay, make choices and move you in that direction, put in energy and effort and work towards that direction. And then just don't fucking stop. Keep going and actually like give it a legitimate hard work effort, and you'll probably get further than you think. If you're thinking of, like you're saying, limiting yourself, maybe you won't even get there. But you'll get fucking close. Or you'll figure something else out. I actually want this, and it'll be potentially better. Like, you don't fucking know.
Because at the end of the day, the only reason you limit yourself is because you don't think you're worthy enough.
You don't think you're worthy enough, or even for myself, like I think like that, but I still have fear. At times I'll have to check myself, and I'll still say like, damn, I'm just kind of being scared. I'm just holding back because I'm being scared, or I'm procrastinating because I'm nervous this won't work out or whatever. And then it's just like,
but it's just, I think it's, just
do
one
it.
saying fuck it, that's a huge thing, just being like fuck it. And like, also I think what we were saying before, if you don't try, you're failing more if you don't try. There's nothing like, if the only way you're gonna lose is if you don't try. But if you try, at least at the end of the day, you could be like, well, at least I tried.
And even if you fail, if you try,
Gary Vee, I saw this from a Gary Vee thing.
I'm
is
a
like
big follower.
If you fail, the faster you fail, the faster you'll succeed. So like
that's a great point. He's a fucking genius in that aspect of like going for shit.
The faster you fail in everything, literally in everything, you're like, damn, that didn't work. That just gets you faster to knowing what works for you to succeed. So it's like taking all those failures and being like, those failures are your building blocks to be like, oh, this is it. Like, you know what I mean?
And this works. That didn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
That's perfect.
So it's like the like faster you fail is like the faster you're just going to succeed. So keep going. So that's why getting up, failing 9 times but getting up 10 times is like, that's what's gonna like keep you there.
You got that Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
I wish I could pull that quote right off the top of my head, but I can't. But it's around the same as what you're saying there. But yeah, and even if you fail and you decide to walk away from it, you always know you tried and you failed and you decided to move on. It's not the regret of I never tried, coulda, woulda, shoulda, and then just feeling probably like the sadness or whatever that emotion is for the rest of your life. You're just like, fuck, I don't know. Instead, you're like, no, I know. Either I tried and I didn't want it as much as I thought I did, so I decided to walk away. Or no, I kept doing it, and whatever happened. You could have succeeded, you could have changed your mind on the line, or took something else as an opportunity, but you fucking know. You played it out. I don't know, that's how I look at it. But yeah, it's really cool to hear you, hear that you think like that. And again, that's the people that you're talking about, your circle, who I'm trying to surround myself with.
I feel like you're one of those people. I'm like, what? Like,
I really appreciate you saying that. Like, because that's how I think, and that's how I'm going after my life at this point, obviously. And I haven't always thought like that. I haven't always been like that, or been bold enough to even if I thought like that, to actually make the actions
or
in the lane of that.
Step into the light of it.
Yeah, like I think like that in the past. I've thought like that. Like I think that's true, but then hadn't actually made the decisions to put myself following that ideology.
I think one thing I've learned in this quarantine is step into your greatness. Yeah. And that's like, but I think with all of that is just also just stepping into like you as like who you are, but to do that you have to be honest with yourself. And like that's why I think what I found is I think honesty is key to everything, like
Yeah.
key to unlocking all of your purpose, your success. And so many people are like, oh, what's like your one purpose? You have a purpose every single day. Like maybe my purpose today is like I gave $10 to somebody on the street, but that my purpose was to allow them to eat.
Mm-hmm.
My purpose to hearing this conversation on the phone with my friend, my purpose was to help them get out of a situation that they felt like they were so stuck in. Like that was my purpose for the day.
So you think every day there's a new purpose?
Every day you have a different purpose, and it's to embrace that. And it's like, God, like what I say, like when I wake up, I'm like, God, thank you so much for waking me up today. I'm so incredibly excited to live in my purpose for today, whatever that may be. Please use me in my purpose today. Like, and I'm just thankful, like, because it's like every day is like, it's not guaranteed, but the you're waking up for some sort of purpose in every single day. So like even for today, the purpose today like is like, yes, we're to talking and sharing, but like at the end of the day, what if this talking and sharing is helping somebody on the other side, being like, wow, because I know I've listened to podcasts that literally has changed my life, and like I
hope so, where
I've like been so depressed and I listened to a podcast and I'm like, that literally changed my entire life. Like it's like things like that could happen. So it's just like you have a purpose every single day without even realizing it. So just knowing that, embracing that, waking up to that, and walking into that greatness, and knowing that your light is needed in every single day in this world is
and it's great to see people believing that and living it. Both of you, like you're both young people, we're all young people. You're believing that and you're directing your life in that direction or with that ideology, and you're totally okay. You're both alive, you're both surviving. It seems like you're both happy as fuck. Or at least at the moment, but like
I mean, he told me the other day, he was like, I've never been this happy.
She's blowing you up. But it's me, like, I think people, again, I'm not very old either, so I'm not a fucking expert, but I think people get scared of going after shit that they believe, like dream wise or dream career wise, and it's the what ifs, if you fail this and that, and you're looking at two people right here who are going after that, and they're surviving completely fine. Just fucking go after it, like just do it. And I know that's the fucking Nike tagline, just do it. So it sounds cheesy as fuck, but it always comes into my head.
Like, just do it, because it's like, even if it fails, just fucking do it. Like it's like,
you gotta put fucking
exactly, just fucking do it. Like you have nothing to lose, like but if you do it, you have everything to gain if you try, as opposed to like not. You know. And
like we said, if it doesn't work out, then you can move on. Either positive or negative, like whatever direction, you know. One thing, exactly like what you're saying, being honest with your relationship, you know the truth. It was going to work out or it wasn't going to work out, and I figured it out, so now I need to go this way or that way.
Exactly. And I think one thing, my mentor said this to me, and it always keeps me going anytime I guess I like doubt myself in any situation of like just believing in myself, is you have everything to share and nothing to prove.
You saying remind you? He said or she said to remind yourself of that.
Or like that was like, I remember it was like our senior show, like graduating for AMDA, and like that was one thing he said. He said, you have everything to share, nothing to prove, and that just like really kept me like, whoa.
That's fucking awesome.
Yes.
So,
oh my god.
The couch eat it.
Oh, we should probably
head out.
Yeah, it's 3:54. I got some training to do.
She's got training.
I got dreams to make happen.
Dreams to make happen. Thank you, Sherri, for coming. Thank you, Paris, for joining. Again, I want to have you on, do a full episode.
Let's do it.
Starring yourself. When I come back from Minnesota. But
I like that.
If you're open for that, I definitely want you on. So, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
That's fucking it. Have a great day.
Yay.
Peace.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.